Hello, everyone, and welcome to this game of Masks, played for Big Bad Online. This game is as a reward for the Big Bad Con 2016 Kickstarter, and my name is Brendan Conway, and I am the chump who made the game, and I will be running it for these fine and lovely people tonight, and they are.
My name is Jason.
Hi, I'm Laurel.
I am Rob.
And so just to get into the game a little bit in advance, for anybody who's watching, you can expect this to be about like PG-13 in rating and content. As I mentioned before to the players, I might curse a little bit more, but Masks generally PG-13 is the target zone of comfort. So with that said, let's just have fun and be informal as Brendan defuses from his I need to be the presenter mode. All right, so first question I want to ask everybody. Who here has played Masks before? Excellent. That's perfect. No, that's great. Who here has played a Powered by the Apocalypse game before?
I have.
Excellent. Great. Okay, so to get into this then, Masks is a game all about teenage superheroes. You are young and you are coming up in a big giant city called Halcyon City. It is Metropolis plus Gotham plus New York plus Los Angeles. It's every giant city in the world combined into one, basically. It's like the biggest and bestest city. And of course, because it's the biggest and bestest city, everything happens there. Aliens invade, they invade Halcyon. Time paradoxes occur, they occur in Halcyon. Just inevitably. So this is where you're growing up in a place that has tons of super people above you, tons of older super people, tons of villains. It has these ideas about how the world should be, what it should look like, and your kids trying to figure out if that's actually what you want to be, if you want to let them tell you who you should be, if you want to find your own way. When I say kids, to frame it up front, Masks characters are usually between 16 and 20 in age. So, that out of the way, in Powered by the Apocalypse games, we have normally playbooks. We have these essentially classes kind of things, these archetypes from which you choose your character. In Masks, we have 10 playbooks. I'm going to limit it a little bit for this game just to help speed us up. And also, I have produced these pre-filled characters where some of the options are filled in a little bit so that we can get playing more quickly, so we can get into the action. These, as I feel with all pre-filled characters, if you look at these and you're like, no. Yeah, definitely, we can change it, absolutely. If you have strong feelings ever, just let me know, and anything's up for grabs. Anything can change. But if you're cool with it, if you don't have strong feelings, this will simplify it and get us into the action much more quickly. So, the playbooks that we have are... I can actually try to do a thing. Be very clever. Hold on, wait. Can I show them on my screen? I'm gonna show them on my screen.
Yay!
It's the future.
Technology.
It's the future. Okay, here we go. Bam. Okay, so first up we have the Beacon. So the Beacon. This character is normally the kid who doesn't really have powers and maybe shouldn't possibly be here because they are not really a super person, except they really want to be here. They're super excited to be here. They're all about just the excitement of this crazy world. They're in many ways the heart of the team, is the idea of them. And so in this case, the Beacon, these pictures that you see are the characters, the pre-filled characters themselves. So the Beacon, the pre-filled character, is this guy right here. Name is Sure Shot. Real name is Alexander Gregarios. Obviously has a bow and trick arrows and acrobatics. And sort of is exactly what the Beacon is. Really excited to be here. Soda's his own costume. Maybe shouldn't be because when he gets punched by a guy who can lift dump trucks, it doesn't go too well for him. Next up, we have the Bull. So the Bull is kind of like a Wolverine character. You were changed, you were made into some kind of weapon, and you may or may not have a strong memory of exactly what happened to you, But now you're this gruff exterior. You punch things. You're real good at punching things. You're real good at breaking shit. You're real good at causing mayhem and havoc. But you got a heart of gold. And the entire shtick of the bull is one person on your team is your love, one person on your team is your rival. And you have certain specific effects that come into play pointing at your love or your rival. So this is exactly, if you're familiar with the comics, this is exactly like Wolverine, who has a love in Jean Grey and a rival in Cyclops. So in this case, the bull, literally this character that you see before you, her name is Toro, and her real name is Luisa. She does not know who modified her or made her who she is, but she's super strong, and she can run through walls Juggernaut style, and she just breaks shit, and it's fun. Next up, we have the Delinquent. So, the Delinquent is kind of a little shit. You're the mischief maker, you're the troublemaker, you're the jokester, you're the class clown. You always put on this facade of never caring about anything, except you're probably the one who winds up caring about things the most. In classic fashion, all of this whole thing, like, I'm too cool, I don't care, I don't need you. It's all because you actually care about the team almost more than anybody else does. You want that attention poured upon you. But in general, you're the one who's much more rebellious. You're the one who's much more, I'm going to ignore what the adults are saying, and I'm going to cause trouble and pranks and so on and so forth. This particular delinquent is named Vertex. Real name is Dare Blackstone, and Vertex is a vertex of multiple dimensions, and therefore has the powers of teleportation and illusions, and is kind of obnoxious for it. Next up, I'm going to skip the Doomed. The Doomed is a playbook which is in the main core game of Masks, but it really works better over a longer term of play. It can be hard to get the Doomed to pop like really well in a single session. Similarly with the Janus, I'm going to skip that for now. Similarly with the Legacy. Just bear with me. The Nova. The Nova, you are defined by power. You have tremendous, infinite cosmic power, that kind of thing. You're the one who, in comic book style, will ask you, what do you do? And you'll come up with some absolutely bonkers thing that makes zero sense based on the actual powers you have, and yet we're supposed to all be cool with it because you're the Nova, and that's the entire point of your character, is that you do crazy things with your powers. The issue, of course, is that keeping your powers under control costs. It's difficult, and it can drain you. It can leave you emotionally messed up, and that can cause trouble for you down the line. This particular Nova is named Fission, and his name is Tyler Wallace. And Tyler was a Genius PhD student who was way in advance in this program. He was on track, and an experiment went awry. He got crazy cosmic powers, and now they won't let him back in the laboratory. Messes with the machines. Next up, we have the Outsider. The Outsider is not from here. The Outsider, in Masks writ large, you can make an Atlantean, you can make a time traveler, you can make just somebody who, as long as they are not from here. And you don't quite understand this world. There are pieces of it that don't make sense to you. The sensibilities you're bringing in from your home do not match Earth. But at the same time, you really like it here, and you want to stay here, and you want to learn and protect it while you're here. And so this particular Outsider is named Sky Song. Her real name is Veriscana Fensis. You can only play her if you can say the real name. It's part of the rules. And she is from a sort of drab culture, very conformist, very rigid. And she does not like that. She likes being on Earth where there's variety and color and excitement. And she would like to stay here, yes please. And I think, just scrolling through, the last two we have are the Protege and the Transformed, but in the files I provided in our Google Doc, I have 5 of these up so they can be modified and adjusted, so we're going to keep it to those 5. We have, through them, everybody's on the same page. We have the Beacon, the Bull, the Delinquent, the Nova, and the Outsider. Okay? So, what sounded good?
I'm going to let Laurel pick first.
Gosh. No pressure. I'll take the bull.
The Bull. Perfect.
and I will defer to Jason.
Oh, I'm gonna go with the outsider.
Excellent.
And then I will take the Nova.
Perfect. Okay, so we have a bull, an outsider, and a nova. Oh my goodness, this is going to be delightful. I'm going to make sure I broke these out into individual documents, so you should be able to go to this document I'm about to link to you, and it will have your individual stuff in a Google Doc that you can modify and play with as you will. Past this, however, in that folder, if you want to see the very pretty and very nicely laid out version of these character sheets, which is not disgusting in Google Doc-like, you can see that in the document playbooks-pregens_1. So hold on, let me get the Nova and just make sure you got it. These are all in the folders, so if you want to find them as well, you can do that there. But there's the Nova. And here is the outsider. Perfect. Okay, the outsider. And I will share these in our other chat as well, just to make sure everybody got them. Okay.
There we go.
All right.
Yay.
Victory achieved. All right, that's the game. Now that you've chosen your characters, we're done.
Oh, very good.
Yay.
We're good. I hope that was
Winner.
fun. All right, so we have the Bull, the Nova, and the Outsider. I'm going to drop out of the other ones because it doesn't matter. Don't care, don't care, don't care. Great. Okay. So written in here, I have a lot of that stuff up front. Like I said before, if you have any strong feelings and want to change it, please. If you do not have totally strong feelings, this is just a great baseline to go from. And if things change over the course of play, obviously we can always talk about it, adjust it, and change it as things go. What you want to take a look at in particular right now are you've got your abilities. These are your superpowers. So the Nova has elemental control. The Bull sort of says super strength, durability, unstoppable momentum. The Outsider has heliokinesis, telepathy, and mind blasts. Exactly what these things mean is down to you. I'm going to be asking you about that to tell me what you think they mean. And the point of these is not to say, oh, you have super strength, so that means you can lift 300 pounds. The point is to say you have super strength, so like you can lift really heavy stuff and punch through walls and stuff. And you know, maybe I'll ask you, oh man, it seems like lifting this entire building would be a real strain for you in a way that lifting just that car isn't. We're not worried about specifics or hard lines. We're worried about like the feel of our comic as it comes together, that these powers make sense and that we know when you're straining and when you're not. So they're just here to like start us off in the conversation, not to really clearly say these are the absolute limits of what you can do. Then you've got your labels. This is the core thing of masks. So in Powered by the Apocalypse games in general, when you make a move, when you do certain things that are uncertain, we don't know what's going to happen next, you would roll 2 6-sided dice and you would add one of your stats. In this case, your stats are these labels. Each of these represents how you see yourself. The higher it is, the more you see yourself as that thing. The lower it is, the less you see yourself as that thing. Quickly running through them, we've got danger, which is you see yourself as dangerous, as a threat, as you can take down things, you're a badass. It's both you see yourself as like somebody who should be feared, you genuinely believe the idea that you should be feared, and you see yourself as like powerful. And yeah, I can punch that robot down, yeah. Freak is you see yourself as strange, different, outside the normal, separate from the world around you. Also, beautiful, unique, capable of things no one else can do, special. Savior is all about seeing yourself as sort of a classic hero, putting yourself on the line, being a martyr, protecting people with your own body. And of course, attached to that being kind of moralizing and being kind of thinking you're correct. Of course you can't come this way. I need to keep you safe. I need to push you off to safety. Superior is about seeing yourself as smart, clever, as understanding how to control your environment and control people. It is arrogance. It is ego as well. I think of Superior as the Batman stat. He is really arrogant, but also it's kind of deserved because he is the smartest man in the room. And mundane is you see yourself as normal, regular, not special, not unique, but also a person capable of empathizing with and understanding other people on a human level, on a basic human level. So for each of these, the highlighted place on the table that you have is your starting number. The reason it's highlighted and there's a whole table there is because it will go up and down. Your idea of who you are will shift and change over the course of the story depending upon what people say to you and how you react. Any questions there or anything?
Makes sense?
Okay. Then you've got your backstory questions. You have a couple of them maybe that are filled in. They're very basic stuff. I will be asking you to hear a little bit more from you. Feel free to flesh that out or put your own spin on it or whatever. But the point there is just to get us started. And then you have several questions that are not filled out. Those I will want to hear your answers for. I will want to hear what you think the truth is there. So, for instance, a lot of those will point at other NPCs or they'll point at other facets of the world. I definitely want to hear what those things are. Your relationships and your influence we will hold off on for the moment. Those are going to point between the team. They're going to point at each other and connect the three of you together. And then you've got your moves. Your moves are your special abilities and powers. If you want to take a look at them, please feel free. If you have any questions at any time, please feel free to ask. Just go ahead, especially if I'm talking too much, just like flag me or tap the screen or like, I don't know, scream. But for the moment, you don't have to worry too much about those. I will explain more about moves and move structure as we move forward. And some of you might have additional little pieces. I believe the Nova actually has this whole burn mechanic where you charge up with superpowers and you hold these points that you spend to do absurd things. And the Bull has this whole love and rival mechanic. You have the Bull's Heart, where you choose someone on the team who is your love and someone on the team who is your rival. Again, if you have any questions at any time about any of this, please ask. But in general, just follow what is written in there, and it should make sense.
Okay.
Cool? Everybody good?
Cool.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so what I would love to do is go ahead, take whatever couple minutes you want, or a couple minutes I will time you, to take a look at your characters and figure out those answers to the backstory questions, and then I'd love to actually introduce them and hear you tell us about these characters in your own words. Cool with everybody?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right. In the meantime, I'm going to jabber on like some sort of strange squirrel creature.
A Pokemon. See, someone might be looking for you in Pokemon Go.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing now. It's surprising how many people were talking
Why is it a
about that.
thing? Why is it a thing?
Pokemon are cute. And
You know, this is totally demanding that I do a Pokemon villain tonight or something.
hey, and it makes people walk around, so that's always good. Get them out exercise. So hey, I'm all for
checks out.
that.
Exactly. It's a video game that forces you to leave your house and walk around.
The horror.
Right.
I will give it props for that.
Oh yeah, one of these I can do a Pokemon villain with these. Mm-hmm. Okay. Can I? There we go. How's everybody doing?
Doing good.
Good.
Excellent. Let me know when you think you're good to do some introductions. Let's see here.
Okay. So. All right. Yeah, got my background questions done at least.
Perfect. Let's see here. Got it.
All right.
Okay. I'm doing my own little prep and looking at my villains and deciding which ones I wanna bring in.
A wise choice.
If you are ready, and if everybody's comfortable, we can start with the introductions if you want to start going while everybody else is finishing up.
Okay.
Is it cool with everybody?
Yeah.
Great.
I'm Fission, Tyler Wallace. I'm better known as better known as Fission. My background. When did I first use my powers? It was when I was in the middle of my thesis project experiment, and I accidentally blew it up. And they haven't let me back into the lab since because it doesn't seem to go well when I'm in there. Who was the first person I accidentally hurt with my powers? That was my advisor, and that was when I was going back to the lab trying to, be a grad student. Hence, I'm not allowed back in the lab.
Oh, so that happened like in an incident after the one that gave you your powers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nasty. I love it.
Who outside the team helps you control your powers? Dr. Tachyon. He's an older hero who also kind of had a similar incident where everything went wrong, but he's been able to go back to being like an actual researcher and stuff, and I hope to be able to be like that.
Is Dr. Tachyon at the moment like an active superhero or a scientist?
Scientist, because he's older, so he kind of does like mentor stuff.
But has powers, could be a superhero in theory.
Yep, correct.
Got it. But has given that up. Great.
Yep. Why do you continue to use your powers? Because just because they are difficult to control doesn't mean I shouldn't try. Because
So
sometimes.
It sounds to me like that points that you feel a responsibility to use your powers.
Yep, because my thought was, like when I hurt my advisor, I was trying not to use them at all, and things were going, and they just flew out of control. Whereas, at least while I'm trying to use them, that's less likely.
Gotcha. Like you can gain that control, or you can vent some of that power.
Yep.
So this is almost safer. I like it. Just because.
Yeah, doing my best to keep everybody else safe by actually keeping them as much under control by using them.
Got it. Excellent.
And why do you care about the team?
Mm-hmm.
They help me better understand why I want to be a hero, because I'm not quite sure about that.
Mm. So am I to understand that it's the kind of thing where like you see them as what you might want to be? Like they represent versions of heroism that you might want to go for? Or do you think
Yes.
something else? Okay.
Yeah, like that. More like that. like the outsider. She's enjoys just being,
Yeah,
or he, and same with Bull. It's like straight
gotcha.
on. Yeah. So I'm
So you're almost treating them a little bit as role models.
yes.
That's just wonderful. I love it when these characters treat each other as role models. It never goes poorly. I promise, it never goes poorly. Um,
That's a relief.
it'll all be perfect and fine and roses forever.
Yay.
Okay, so are you still in contact with your advisor, or is that relationship severed after you hurt him or her or them?
Um. Yes, I'm still in contact, but I like more online because I'm like I don't want to hurt him, but they still want me to get back into being a researcher and stuff. But
So you're keeping this distance in an attempt to keep them safe, but it sounds like they actually want to help you. They actually want to be there for you.
correct.
And what is their name?
Uh. Jan Murtry.
Jan Murtry. Is that a man or a woman or
Um.
ambiguous or asexual or
Woman.
excellent woman? Perfect. Okay. And so she was hurt, probably bears some scars from you, but still is interested in getting you back in the actual because you're a genius. You're a friggin' genius.
Yep.
Um, I'm like, I mean, yeah, superpower is great, but you have so much potential outside of just the fact that you can probably summon up elemental fires. I want to know your elemental control. What does that mean to you? What does elemental control mean?
I was thinking in terms of like the four like hermetic elements: earth, air, fire, water.
Perfect. That's got to drive you batty.
Yeah, because it's like that's not how this works. That's not how any
Exactly.
of this works.
Exactly. That's got to drive you absolutely bonkers. I love it.
You control the elements. No, I control these things. They're not elements, not at all.
It's not. Um, and are you publicly outed? Does everybody know Tyler Wallace's Fission? I mean, to be clear, you framed it up front. You said everybody probably knows Fission more. But if I looked you up on Wikipedia, is it going to say Tyler Wallace's Fission?
Yes, that's I like that. I like the open.
Perfect. Excellent. And you are how old do you think?
Let's go with 18.
18. Love it. Okay, that is perfect. So who wants to go next? Do we want Sky Song or Toro? I will flip a coin that I don't have. Wait, wait. No, I don't have a coin. Okay, I'm gonna roll a die on this online thing that I have, which is kind of like a coin. And if I get a 1 or a 2, it's gonna go to Sky Song, and if I get a 3 or 4, it's gonna go to Toro. It's a 1. So go
Yay!
Sky Song.
So, hi. Um, yeah, my name is Veriscanathensis,
Yes.
but don't worry, nobody can pronounce it. It just doesn't really work for human mouth parts. But people around here call me Sky Song. Um, I'm I look like I'm 17. Who knows how old I really am? What are years anyway? I mean, you measure years in how a planet orbits the sun it goes around, and our planet doesn't go around the sun at the same speed that yours does, so it doesn't really add up. But anyway, sorry, I digress. I look female, although among my people, gender is really kind of a non-issue. It doesn't really. Um, I am interesting thing because it actually you asked me a question when we started this conversation, and that was why do I want to stay here? So I'm going to come back to that. But I come from a planet called Androthalacensis. Don't worry, you won't know where it is. And dead boring. It's so boring. They don't even have music. We don't have music there. We don't have. And have you seen the color of my skin when I'm not in the sunlight? It's blue-gray, by the way. Everything is this color. Everything is this color. It's so boring. So boring. They sent me here. Okay. I can tell you this, but you can't tell my teammates this. Okay? Got to promise.
Oh yeah,
okay?
I promise.
They sent me here because they want to colonize Earth. Okay? I haven't told them that yet. I told them I was an exchange student.
And to be clear, colonize, that sounds like it means like violently if necessary.
It would be bad.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And I don't want that to happen. I really, really don't want that to happen. So I told them that Earth really was not suitable for our people. It would not do at all. All of the color would drive them in. It would not good. No, not good at all. So that's why I came here.
Perfect.
So why do I want to stay? Color. You have color. Do you know how important that is? Color. Please.
Amazing.
They want me to come home because, well, they want to colonize. I don't want to go. I really don't want to go. No.
So actually, it's worth on that. Is it supposed to be like, so far you've said to them, this place isn't suitable for colonization, but let me keep doing some studies just to make sure. So,
there's some things that might pan out in the future, so I need to stay and do some more studying.
Gotcha. And so they're saying, well, either it isn't good for colonization and you should come home, or it is and you should come home and we should invade.
Every time my parents call to want to tell me to come home, I send them straight to voicemail.
I love it. Send them straight to space voicemail.
That's right.
Excellent. And what is your other backstory question?
My other backstory question is, why do I care about the team?
Mm-hmm.
Because where I come from, everyone it conforms. Everyone does what they're told. Everyone does. You're born into a place in life, and that is your place. That is your thing. And they're special. They're different, and they have so much more power than they realize that they have.
That's great. That's great. Like you love the uniqueness of your teammates. I love it. That's perfect. How long have you been here, Sky Song?
I think I've been here for quite a while. I'm going to go with 50 years because that's the number that popped into my head. But I haven't told them that I've been here that long.
And because of this whole, we have no idea how old you are. Functionally, you could be incredibly old,
right.
But like mentally, you're still in that zone of being a 17-year-old.
Among my people, I'm a teenager.
Yep. Okay.
Among my people, yeah.
That 50 years did not change that.
No, not at all.
Excellent. Now, your powers. You have, like all outsiders, you can fly and you're pretty tough.
Right.
And then you have heliokinesis and telepathy and mind blasts. So,
right.
What do those mean to you?
I'm not familiar. Outside of care, I'm not familiar with heliokinesis.
Yeah, it is one of my favorite stupid, silly science nonsense terms. But yes, it is supposed to be like sun control or sunlight control. But it can be whatever you.
I did that totally without even realizing it, because like I said, when I'm not in sunlight, my skin is kind of a blue-gray color. But when I'm in sunlight, just like coruscating, rainbow,
That's
colors,
awesome.
and I can, I think I can control light and control color, and not sure exactly what that gives me the ability to do, but we'll figure that out.
I could see, illusions or light blasts or whatever.
I was thinking light blasts.
That's great.
But I really don't like hurting people. So the light blasts, like stun people, but they don't
absolutely.
do real harm.
Right.
I don't want to do real harm.
Except for when Skyzook gets really angry. But,
that would probably be a bad day.
Yeah, that won't happen. That will
never happen. There will never be a solar reactive explosion in Halcyon City. Won't happen. Nope.
And what about the telepathy and the mind blasts? What does that mean to you?
With telepathy, I think it's more empathy than telepathy.
Perfect.
Because I'm really, I see, among my people, don't do emotions. We don't do emotions. But so much emotion. Even color. It's amazing. It's truly spectacular.
Mm-hmm. And so is the mind blast based on the sort of emotion and empathy as well?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And basically, it would just be and with a mind blast, I overwhelm my targets, emotional centers, and but again, I don't like to hurt people, so
Sure.
It probably doesn't do physical harm so much as it just like knocks them out, unconscious or confuses them or something like that.
Right, or if somebody gets terrified, they run away.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes perfect sense. Excellent. Okay. Now, do you care about passing for human ever?
I think that one of the ways that I can control light is I can make myself look like a normal person, like a normal girl.
And you do, it sounds like.
Yeah, and I do, for the most part.
Great.
I cannot do it if there's no light, though. There has to be some amount of light around me.
And that doesn't have to be sunlight. That can be like an artificial lamp.
Yeah, it can be like a light bulb or something like that.
Perfect. So you do hide, essentially, among humanity. Do you do all of that normal human stupid stuff, like school and stuff?
I think I totally go to school. Because it's really interesting. The course material is so wildly rudimentary.
Yeah.
But the way they interact with each other is just so interesting.
What is the name you go by at
Veronica.
School? Veronica. Hells yes. I love it. And last thing I want to ask you about then is you have, as a move, you have a Kirby craft.
Right.
Now you will get to choose the one strength and one weakness.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if you have strong feelings left over, you can adjust those. But what I want to know from you, so this is like your spaceship. This is a vehicle. Right. This is something from home. What is your Kirby craft?
It is actually the spacecraft that I used to fly here from home. But here, pardon me, it looks like a sports car, like a convertible. Probably a Miata. I'm thinking a Miata because it's curvy. I like it. Yeah, it's curvy. At least that's what I make it look like.
That's amazing. Space Miata.
That's right.
So you just drive it around normally. You treat it as your car, but it can fly and do crazy shit.
It can do crazy stuff. It says that I get to pick one power and one weakness.
Yeah, you get 2 strengths and 2 weaknesses. And just to start it off, you have 1 left on each. And again, if you're like, that one really doesn't make any sense to me, or I really don't like that one, you can swap something out.
No, I like those. I was going to go with it is fast and maneuverable.
Perfect.
And it is difficult to repair.
Nice. So it is fast and maneuverable. It is telepathic. So
It
that
uses a bizarre fuel source.
what is the
Uh,
bizarre fuel
it's
source?
a fusion reactor.
Good thing you have somebody on your team named Fission. I want to see that scene. Can you fill her up?
uh, fission. Cards running a little low.
And you said it was difficult to repair.
Yes.
And that is just the
It,
pieces are alien technology
the
kind of thing?
pieces are alien technology. Tools are hard to come by. Replacement parts would be impossible unless I could fabricate something.
Perfect. Tools and replacement parts are hard to come by. Perfect. Okay. That's awesome. Toro.
Yes.
Tell me about Toro.
Well, that was kind of a hard act to follow. So, I'm Louisa. I do not have a last name, probably because part of my background is that my memory's pretty messed up. I escaped from whoever made me this cool, awesome hero that I am by ripping and smashing my way free. I'm going to be 17 in a month, and
Excellent.
the person who takes care of me now is, well, or he takes an interest in me. I'm, totally fine on my own. I don't need help. But still, Mr. Ewan, my history teacher in high school, is just the coolest guy. And one of the reasons I try to be a hero is he taught us a lot about history and how, really strong people have been really not cool to people who are weaker and all about justice. And so, I kind of want to make him proud and do the right thing instead of just, being a bully and beating people up. And I care about the team because, they're pretty cool. Although Fishin is my rival just because he's kind of a dork a lot of the time and really uncool. And, not that I have friends, but if I did, it would be kind of embarrassing to be seen with him. So, yeah, I try not to let that show too much. And but I really, really like Sky Song. I can't pronounce her, whatever her Anglo name is, it's just some kind of weird stuff. So I just call her Sky Song, but she's just really awesome. And I love that despite, really, really being an outsider, she is so cool and she tries to fit in and takes a real interest in stuff. And, you know, that's pretty much it.
Love her enthusiasm. So Mr. Ewan, you said, right?
Yes.
He taught you the history, and he is currently the one who looks after you.
Yes, he fusses over me a little bit more than he should. He calls to make sure see I'm doing okay. How are things at home? Doesn't mind too much if I come in late, that kind of thing. And I don't really need his help, but it makes him feel better. So,
So you let it happen
yeah, I let it happen.
out of the kindness of your heart.
Right. Because,
Now,
he's a cool guy.
do you go to school now, or do you?
Yes.
Okay. So since you were experimented upon, since you came home, you started going to school, maybe again, and that's when you met him. That's when you connected with him.
Yep, exactly. And there was some stuff when I first started going back to school about, where are your parents and there's a gap in your record. But, it turns out when you are really strong and can break desks and stuff, sometimes they forget about that stuff.
So it's public what you can do.
Yes.
Excellent. So all of the kids at school know what you can do, and that presumably means they also know that like this Toro identity. They know Luisa and they know Toro,
Well,
and they're the
sure. I
same
mean,
person.
I try to kind of keep it on the down low, but, one gym class, that was it. So
Yep.
what the heck? Why not let them know?
Why not let them know? I love it. You do you live on your own?
Yeah, my memory's a little messed up, so I'm not real clear on whether I have a family or where they might be, but
Yeah.
I've had a few people help me out and they heard about, doing some hero stuff and didn't have a family and so I just have kind of a crummy apartment that I live in and, eat a lot of fast food, but that's okay.
In crummy apartment, is that some service gives you enough money that you can afford it, or do you work?
Oh, no, I don't have a job. Tried a little bit, but people are intimidated or the job's really just boring, so didn't work out.
Just inevitably, it didn't work
Right?
out. Let's see. So you don't keep a job, you get enough money from something to keep your apartment from, like, I'm assuming some sort of government support kind of thing.
Sure.
Um, your powers, what are your powers?
So my powers are basically super strength, durability, and unstoppable momentum.
And what do those mean to you?
So that means that if I want to pick something up, it gets picked up. If I want to go from point A to point Z without stopping between, I just do it.
You go and do whatever you want.
I go and do it. That's right.
Smash it. Um, do you have any recollections or any important stuff that you remember from how you were modified or changed?
Not really. It's all kind of a blur, and sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'll have a dream where I kind of remember it, something about a lab, uh, but that's pretty much it. And I remember smashing my way out. I remember a lot of people screaming, and that was kind of it.
Got it. Remember smashing her way out. How long have you been out?
About 6 months. And I figured that was long enough that, if I had parents waiting for me somewhere, or family missing me, or, somebody coming after me, it would have happened. It hasn't happened by now, so I'm good.
So, yeah, everything's fine.
Everything's
Certainly
cool.
won't happen.
Of course not.
It'll all be fine. Um, that's perfect. Let me see here. So this whole superhero thing, um, what does that mean to you, or like, why is this important to you?
Well, like I said, this is important because, I know sooner or later I'm going to have to get a real job because I'm going to be a grown up, and probably the government's going to stop giving me, assistance money and stuff like that. And I'll be out of school. And I just want to do the right thing. And, I don't really want to work at the mall, or get some kind of, crappy retail job or anything boring like that. And, how long am I going to last at a job anyway if, you pick up a package and you smash it because
Smash it.
somebody teed you off, it's going to happen. So why not be a hero and, do some good things for people? And, it is really cool to be a hero and help people out.
It probably doesn't hurt that all you have to do is turn on the TV and see that the people who are allowed to smash shit are the heroes.
Well, exactly, right? And, the bad guys smash stuff up, you just go and stop them, and it helps people. So why not? I haven't figured out how that's going to be, a job or make money someday. But, look, you read comic books, right? Does anybody really worry about a job? No. So I'm sure it'll work out, right?
It'll be fine.
I mean, come on. How many times has like Clark Kent or Peter Parker gotten fired? And they're still fine, right? So it'll be good.
Oh, this is amazing. I guess the last question I have for you, because I kind of feel like this answer is going to be golden. Where did you get your costume?
Yeah, so I didn't have a whole lot of money, so I kind of shopped around in vintage stores and thrift places, and I have a pretty good eye for what looks good, and so I put it together myself. And
Excellent.
seriously, I mean, maybe some people think it looks goofy, but who's going to say it, right?
Who would say that to your face?
Exactly. Not that I would beat somebody up for saying it, but if people think so and it keeps them from bugging me, hey, I'm good.
Of course, on the news, I'm sure there are plenty of reports about that terrifying teenager with the horns who smashes through walls.
Well, they got to fill it with something, right?
Well played. Well played. All right, I love it. So that is our team. We have Toro, Sky Song, and Fission. Now, what I want to do now, each of you have these two relationships. There's a blank slot in each of those lines. I want you to fill them in with the name of another character. Now, Toro, you sort of said yours already, but just for the sake of making sure everybody's clear, can you say your two relationships again, and then we'll go around the other way. We'll go back the way we came. So what are your two relationships, Toro?
Oh, so my two relationships are with Sky Song, who is my love, and I've kind of opened up to her about, a lot of the sort of bad stuff that, at least that I can remember, that's happened in my past. And, when I sometimes aren't not feeling so good about the hero stuff, I've told her because she, she listens, she gets it, and she's so interested in people. You can tell she's not just putting up with you. She wants to know, which is
Right.
so awesome.
Right.
And Fission is my rival because, he thinks he knows it all, and he's got these powers, and ooh, I can control fire, or whatever. And so tries to be the boss. And, I just am not down with that dude stuff, so we have issues.
This is amazing. Oh, that's great. It also probably doesn't help if I recorded this correctly. You are 16, you're going to be 17 in a month,
Yep.
and Fission is 18, right?
Right. And so he thinks he knows it all.
Yep. And also, it doesn't help that he's a genius. Yeah,
Oh, at least
it's
he
got to be
thinks he's
enough.
a genius, right? So sure.
Love it. All right, Sky Song, what are your two relationships?
I have been learning about Earth by spending time with fishing, and I secretly have a crush on Toro, but I keep it under wraps.
Aww.
Oh.
So, to the first one, spending time with Fission, how? Doing anything or doing something in particular?
Well, he thinks he's teaching me about science.
You're like, oh, that's so cute. I learned this, a few millennia ago.
That,
But go on.
we talked about that in kindergarten. It was fun.
But that's you spending time with him and like trying to hear about how Earth
Right.
works and letting him tell
But
you.
what I'm really trying to learn is about people.
Perfect. Love it. And then for Toro, you have a crush on Toro, but you keep it under wraps. Why do you keep it under wraps?
Okay, among my people, such things are not done.
Mm,
There is no such thing as, romantic relationships. So in
gotcha.
part, this feeling confuses me.
Gotcha. So you're not sure what it is. It would be taboo if you were home. Not sure how to
Yes.
deal with it. Perfect. And
And
actually,
if
just
my
to,
parents found out,
big trouble. Just to check as well, because I apologize. I should have made this clear, and it feels like you're sort of there anyway. So with the bull, you have your love that doesn't have to be romantic. It can be somebody that you just care about deeply, like you
right.
really like them and you want to protect them, but it doesn't have to be romantic. So for Toro, is it a crush? Is it more romantic love, or is it just no? I really care about Sky Soul.
Oh no, it's definitely I really really like Sky Song and I don't know that it's a crush because I haven't really thought about it, but she just is such a good listener and such a good friend that it's awesome.
Got it. So for Toro, it sounds like she hasn't even thought about it, but it does sound like on her side it's just deep affection.
Right.
For Sky Song, it's a legit crush.
Right.
Oh, that's adorable. All right, and what do you have, Fission?
I have, you hang out all the time with Sky Song to blow off steam. So occasionally she hangs out with me to learn about science, and occasionally we go out and blow stuff up.
Oh, is that you like blowing off steam? Is going out to the junkyard and blowing up old cars and stuff?
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then I once hurt Toro when I lost control of my powers.
Mm.
So
Mm,
she kind of thinks she's always big, bad, and tough, and but when I lost control, she saw that she isn't as tough as she thought she was.
mm. But that was like things got out of hand and she got burned or something, right? Or
Yep.
okay. And I mean, from Toro's perspective, do you hold a grudge for that?
No, I don't hold a grudge for that at all. I'm more annoyed with Fishin about his, attitude and his ego. I mean, if I got hurt because I wasn't paying attention, that's probably on me. Won't happen again. You
Ah,
got
that's
lucky.
great.
That's
Well,
hilarious.
so Fission, then, do you feel guilt?
Yes.
Okay.
Because once again, it plays into like I lost control and
Yes.
someone got hurt,
Yes.
and even more so when it's that person that constantly says, "I'm unstoppable." I'm like, crap. She's not, and she doesn't understand. Oh God. Now
Oh,
I have to worry about her too because she doesn't see.
that's great. This just makes you more controlling. That's great. I love it. All right, perfect. So what I want to do now is you have this section on each of your sheets that says influence. So influence is a big thing in the game. It is binary, which means either I have influence over you or I do not. I can't get 2 influence over you or 3 influence over you. I either have it or I don't. If I have influence over you, It means you care about what I think, say, or do. So if I have influence over you and I say, you are really dangerous and reckless, you really need to calm the hell down, then that'll actually affect you. Like that will mean something to you. But if I don't have influence over you and I say that, you'll be like, meh, whatever. I don't care. You can always give influence out to somebody who doesn't have it over you if you want, but it's much tougher to take it from someone who does have it over you. Okay? So always give it out to somebody who doesn't have it, but keep in mind it's tougher to take it back. So all your influence section says right now is sort of the reason why you would give out some amount and some minimum amount you have to give out. Now I have a feeling because there are only three of us, three people on the team, it means that you're going to be giving out a fair amount and people are just going to have it over each other, which is fine. But call out exactly why you're giving that influence as we go through. So I'll go to you first, Fission. What do you have for influence?
I have choose a demeanor, happy facade or locked down. And I'm going to go with happy facade, which means give influence to 3 teammates.
And since we only have 2 teammates, that means both Toro and Skysong have influence over Fission. So what you probably want to do is just make sure you have somewhere where you can record that you have influence over Fission. Then I will go, we'll keep doing that order where we bounce back and forth. Skysong, what do you have for influence?
I have a very cheerful demeanor, and so that means that all of my teammates have influence on me.
Perfect. So both Fission and Toro, make sure you record that you have influence over Skysong. And then Toro, what do you have for influence?
So for influence, it basically says that you have influence to your love and your rival, and that's it. Since we have both, that's it.
Excellent. So both Fission and Skysong, make sure you record that you have influence over Toro. So essentially, everybody has influence over everybody. That's great.
I'm going to be interested to see how that works out from a mechanical standpoint.
It is a tight little group, but it will be interesting because it means everything everyone says will matter to everybody.
Right.
Very good.
Oh my.
I'm sure that'll end up very well.
Be fine. It's not like teenagers ever say stuff that they shouldn't or don't.
Couldn't possibly go badly.
Okay. I have 2 final questions, and then we can actually take a short bio break and come back in 5 minutes. But my 2 questions, these are huge questions. Super important. Cannot emphasize enough. 1, what is your team's name?
Well, I can't imagine that Mr. Genius didn't pick the name for us until it was what it was going to be. Fishing. So what is it?
I'm a big fan of Power Pack from the 90s, so I would say Power Pack.
Awesome.
Power Pack.
I'm not from around here, so I don't understand the reference. So yeah, okay.
I love
it. That is awesome.
I love it. Power Pack. Okay. I sort of wonder if there are copyright issues that ever swing your way. I think that's. I'm trying to think. I think that the news would go with that. I think they would go with Power Pack. That's nice and alliterative. We can remember that. Yeah, we'll totally call you people Power Pack. Great. Okay. The second crucial question. Who is your leader? Now, you can answer this on 2 levels. One is the actual pragmatic truth. In general, at any given conflict moment, who would you turn to as your leader? And the answer there could be actually no one. There is no default. But the other side of it to think about is when people are looking at your team, when the news report comes up about Power Pack, they have labeled someone the leader. Who did they label as the leader?
I think Fission makes absolutely certain that they label him as the leader.
I agree.
Okay. I would. Because I'm like, oh sweet God, we can't let them talk. This is going to make us look bad. Hi. How are you all today?
Amazing.
You destroyed that thing over there. It was it was supposed to be destroyed. It wasn't good.
That's excellent. And so is Fission the actual de facto leader? Like, do you actually let him lead the group?
I think it's cute that he tries to lead the group. I
That
think
says
that's
enough.
adorable.
Cute that he tries. That's pretty excellent. Yep.
Well,
Okay.
he tries to lead in his limited way.
He tries. He try. You give. It's the thought that counts. It's the
Right.
emotion that counts. And actually, in this context, just so everybody's aware, in the full game of Masks, there's a whole thing where we would build the big, giant Avenger-style event, the thing that brought you all together, the instance that you couldn't handle on your own. For the sake of speed, in this, we're just sort of going quickly past that. You've been a team for a few months. The incident that brought you together, since we love them, was an attack of giant robotic T-Rexes stomping through the streets of the city that no one of you alone could have stopped. The three of you together banded together and were able to bring them down and stuck together since then. And that was a while ago. That was not like yesterday. You've been a team for a little while. Cool?
Cool.
All right. So let's take like a 5-minute break. My time says 10:10 right now. So if we can come back by like 10:15 or so, that'd be great.
Sounds good.
All right.
Break.
What, sweetie? Yeah. Turn the door off. You said 3. Hang on.
Okay. I have my toys. Everybody good?
All good?
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So, excuse me. We open up on a ribbon cutting ceremony. The first shot of the comic book is up above this larger plaza in front of a big gleaming tower of a building. And there are people filling the plaza with the podium up front. And there's a big sign that says Rook Meta Laboratories. And there's the whole big ribbon in front, and everybody is standing on the podium, like looking very formal. And giving a speech right now is a woman standing in front of the podium. She looks very prim and proper in her business suit, very powerful and stern as the sort of camera zooms in down upon her. Ultimately catching like the tail end of her speech. And so I would like to ask the leading scientist whose research has made the opening of the Meta Laboratory a real possibility, Dr. Tachyon. I would like him to cut the ribbon. And there's lots of light applause, and then it cuts over to Dr. Tachyon. And she hands him the shears, and an older guy, but still relatively fit, right? His powers probably keep him relatively young and capable of zipping off. Dr. Tachyon, I'm hearing speed powers, and like that's what he's known for. But he's wearing his lab coat right now, and he looks very ready to go to work, almost like this is all just a formality, as he takes the scissors and he cuts the ribbon. And just as he does that, there is this scream from within the crowd, followed by a strange, long, metallic whip that flings out of the crowd and strikes Dr. Tachyon. He's completely taken unawares as it wraps around his throat, and you can watch this metallic whip start to pulsate with some yellowing, crackling force as power pours back along the whip into the hand of this guy who's just standing there as people are moving away from him, shrugging off his coat. He looks thin and almost sickly, and really just deflated as a person. But that whip extends from his finger, and as it does, that power pouring into him, you can almost watch as his muscles are inflating. That is the man who is standing there with that whip extending from his finger, wrapping around Dr. Tachyon and draining Dr. Tachyon. You can watch Dr. Tachyon sort of falling to his knees as the power gets pulled from him. So, who is the first on the scene?
Well, this is a human thing going on, so I think I was there watching.
Totally. I could see all of you be there too. I could see absolutely. So Sky Song, you were there. I mean, actually, let's quickly check in on that. I'd probably buy that. Dr. Tachyon is the one who was being honored here to some extent today. So probably you were there, Fission, right?
Yep, I was there kind of as support to watch him get this dream realized.
So actually, Sky Song, were you there being asked by Fission? Or were you there of your own accord?
I think I was there of my own accord.
Perfect. Toro, are you there?
Well, Sky Song's there, and she probably wants somebody to keep her company. So yeah, I'll come hang out.
So you are all scattered among the crowd. And then as soon as this starts going down, Sky Song, the camera cuts to you, and the panel is just you in your human guise, right? You've got whatever your light control is doing to make you look perfectly normal. What do you do?
Well, I really don't want them to catch me on camera doing something out of costume. So I think I'm going to have to blind the cameras first with,
that's perfect.
With a flash of light.
That's perfect. So here's the thing. I think that, to me, since you want to blind all the cameras in this plaza, they probably had a bunch, right? And you want to do it all at once in one simultaneous burst, so none of them even see you doing it, right?
Right.
That, to me, sounds a bit like pushing it a little bit more than usual.
Yes, I think so.
Burning out any one camera, yeah, whatever. You would just point your finger and it's gone. But since this is sort of a little bit extreme. So in the Drive folder, you've got this document, this PDF, basic move list.
Got it.
This is the basic moves for the game. And in particular, the one that you just triggered is Unleash Your Powers. Unleash Your Powers is for when you're doing something crazy or surprising with your powers that you could normally do, or that isn't just instantaneous and quick and not a problem for you. And also, it's worth noting, Unleash Your Powers is when it doesn't fit something else. You'll obviously, Toro, when she goes to punch a robot, is going to be using her super strength to do it, but it better fits the move directly engage a threat. So in this case, Unleash Your Powers is exactly the right move. So what you're going to want to do is, when you unleash your powers to overcome an obstacle, reshape your environment, or extend your senses, roll plus freak. So you're going to want to roll 2d6 and add freak.
I have 3.
Yay!
I have a hard miss.
Okay. So when you do these rolls on a 10 plus, that basically means you'll generally keep control and you'll get what you want. 7 and 9 means you'll get what you want, but probably with some tweak or cost or some additional complication. A 6 or lower means that I get to say what happens, and it's probably going to be a little bit things go awry. So in this case, and there's a final note. When you get a miss, when you get a 6 or lower on a roll, you would get to mark potential. Potential in masks is your experience points. Normally, it's 5 potential and you get to advance. For the sake of a shorter game, we'll play it a little bit quicker, 3 potential and you can advance. So you can go ahead and mark potential,
Right.
and 2 more and you'd get to advance.
Right.
Okay, so you throw out your hand. What does it look like when you burn out all the cameras?
Well, I think I just kind of like threw my hands out to try to like create this like light burst.
This sudden flash excellent. Okay. So basically, you burst into this tiny little supernova of light, and all the cameras are totally fried, and anybody who had their eyes open around you is also like, I can't see all the spots, including your teammates for the moment.
Right.
So everybody is thrown off of their game. And when you're sort of stumbling and like clearing your eyes, trying to clear your bleary-eyed vision, before you can really get your bearings, you hear that weird whisper of that metal tendril, and then another one snakes out and wraps around you, Sky Song. And immediately you can feel your essence being drained out of you, pumping along this tendril. The rest of you, like, wiping away the horrible light that just burned into your eyes. You can see the guy, the sickly-looking guy, with his other hand. He's still got one finger out with the tendril wrapped around Dr. Tachyon on the stage, the other hand out with its tendril wrapped around Sky Song, draining her. And at this point, obviously, because you wanted to keep your stuff under wraps, like, you now look like yourself, but there's enough of a flash, everybody was confused, they're not going to connect it between the two.
Right.
Okay, so, Toro, you're right next to Sky Song. What do you do? Sky Song is... Yeah.
Yeah, I am not okay with this. This is not cool. So there's a tendril going from skinny dude straight to Sky Song.
Yep.
So I will directly engage the threat, and I'm going to twist it off.
So, an important question that I want to make sure we're clear on.
Mm-hmm.
There are 2 basic moves. There are many basic moves, but there are 2 basic moves that often it's important to distinguish. Defend versus directly engage a threat. So, like, you're pretty confrontational, so they can often look similar. But what I really want to know is, are you just trying to, like, rip the tendril apart and all you care about is freeing Sky Song? Or are you trying to hurt this guy?
Oh, I'm trying to hurt this guy. I do not approve of his behavior.
Okay, so this is like ripping the tendril away and maybe like coming up and punching him, and if Sky Song gets free, great. But if not, that's okay too.
Right, well, I'm hoping to protect her, but the idea is that I'm trying to break it so that she's not being drained or whatever's happening from this guy. And with the other end, I'm going to crack the whip.
Cool. Okay. So directly engage a threat is the move to do, with, again, the clear caveat being that this will not guarantee, with a good roll, with good solutions, it'll save her, but it will not guarantee her safety. Perfect.
Okay.
All right, so roll 2 6-sided dice and add your danger.
Okay, danger is 1. Ooh, that's not good. 4.
Okay. Hold on a second. Did I get those stats wrong? I
have a +1 danger, +3 freak, -1 savior, +1 superior, and -1 mundane.
Let me take a look at that to make sure. I got those stats wrong.
Ooh.
Okay. It's because I mixed up my own stats when I transported them over to the Google Doc. So, that should be a +1 freak and a +3 danger.
So that would make it a 5.
Okay. I will actually swap them.
I'm sorry, 6 rather. Sorry.
Which, I apologize for that. That was a total brain fart. Yes.
So, Brendan, I have a very quick question.
Yes.
Does influence have any mechanical effect in the game?
It does. And give me 1 second. I will finish swapping that just to make sure that's right. Okay. I got to take a look at the others quickly to make sure. But yes, so you can do a couple things with your influence. The baseline thing that you do with your influence is when you make a move towards somebody else. When I am trying to directly engage you, or when I am trying to pierce your mask, or comfort or support you. If I have influence over you, I take a +1 on that move. Beyond that, you can take advantage of your influence for certain other effects. You can be like, you care about what I think, and so I'm just going to lay in on you with tons of insults. I lose my influence over you, and you would have to mark a condition. Those are afraid, angry, guilty, insecure, and hopeless. Those are probably the biggest ways that they come up. They also, I'm going to be listening for that part where, like, if you have influence over each other, right, and you're like, hey, cool it, you're being way too dangerous, that's going to come in and affect it, as well as they would have to think about how your words actually affect them and might shift their labels. In this moment, you have a 6, right, Toro?
Yes.
Okay. So if you can see it, I have this little counter up in the upper right-hand corner of my screen.
Mm-hmm.
And I will use that to track your team pool. So team is the resource you use to help each other out. And team gets energized by certain things. In particular, there is a move for entering battle against a dangerous foe as a team. I haven't triggered it yet because I sort of feel like, this instant thing happened pretty quickly. It sort of took you off guard. But as soon as we have like a moment where the three of you maybe have a second to catch your breath, I'll trigger that move and it'll put a bunch more team in that pool. Any of you can spend one team out of the pool to help someone as long as you can actually do something in the fiction to help them. Like if you are on the other side of the city, you can't actually physically help them. But if you are capable of helping them in the fiction, spend one team and you can give them a +1 on their roll. So right now, Toro has a 6, and you have one team in the pool, so somebody can spend that one team to actually give Toro +1 and make it a 7. Which would be that would be the difference between a miss and a hit. So does somebody want to help Toro?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you do to help Toro?
I think that, and I'm gonna frame this because I'm a little bit freaked out because this thing is sucking the life out of me, and I think that light kind of represents life to me. So I think I'm gonna suck away the light that is dazzling Toro's eyes and making it hard for her to see, and thereby help her. So.
Okay, so you're trying to clear her vision while the bad guy's is still messed up, so she has a better shot at him. I buy that. So that uses one team out of the pool. That puts you at a 7, Toro. So,
excellent.
On a 7, way to go. Basic move list. For directly engage a threat, on a hit, which is a 7 or higher, you trade blows. That means you're going to hit them and they're going to hit you. On a 7 and 9, you get to pick one. Do you want to resist or avoid their blows, take something from them, create an opportunity for your allies, or impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition? One of those 4.
I think since we're a team here, I'm going to create an opportunity for my allies.
Excellent. And, in particular, it sounds like you want to create an opportunity so that Sky Song can either slip out or get away or something like that, right?
Exactly. I'm trying to keep this guy off balance.
Perfect. Okay, that works perfectly. So you come in and you're like trying to rip his cord. It's pretty tough, even for someone as strong as you are pulling it away from Sky Song. But because you pull the cord away, he's entirely focused on you. Like he's turned his back on Sky Song and on Fission as he tries to wrap that cord around you, and like you can feel it closing around your wrist. You can feel the tip of it trying to get through your iron-like skin, trying to get into your body. But at the same time, I'm assuming you wanted to crack it like a whip, right?
Exactly.
So you just send that like ripple down the cord. It sends his hand smacking into his own face.
Stop hitting yourself.
And when you say that, like he just looks angry. He looks infuriated, and you can watch as he doubles down, and then you feel all that energy pouring out of you into him. So the blow he's going to strike on you is he's trying to pull the energy out of you, and I think let's treat that as you take a powerful blow. So there's this
Okay.
move when you take a powerful blow. Roll plus conditions marked. Right now, you don't have any conditions marked, so go ahead and roll plus 0. This is
Okay,
the one move in the
2d6.
Yep, 2d6.
That is, I'm having a great night for rolling 2.
That's perfect, actually. This is the one move in the game that you want to roll as low as possible.
Well, excellent.
So, on a miss, you stand strong. Mark potential, so you still get essentially 1 experience point. And say how you weather the blow. So what does this look like? Like, he's trying to pull your energy out of you. He's trying to drain you on the other end of his whip. And it just doesn't work. You're just able to take it. What do we see? What does the comic panel look like?
Well, the comic panel was trying to crack the whip at him to get him off balance. So when he tries to drain the energy out of me, I just plant my feet shoulder width apart and lean into it and pose. Basically throwing shade back at him like, ooh, is that what you got? I got this.
Is that it? Is that
This
all
is
you
my
got?
power pose. That's right.
The power pose. Everybody knows the power pose.
That's right.
That's
It's the
excellent.
one on
And
all our posters.
it's the one on all our posters. I kind of want to know how many posters that is.
Oh, lots.
We printed lots of them, but they're all just kind of like stacked up at the
Aw.
at the headquarters.
That's kind of sad. Aw. So yeah, he's completely surprised that you're just able to stand there, and as he tries to drain the energy, right, that smirk, and he can't do anything about it. And you have him totally preoccupied, focused on you, and not paying attention to any of your other teammates, which gives a great opportunity to Fission. So Fission, what are you doing?
I'm basically because I'm towards the front, so I'm gonna like step out and like kind of light up, not like more like the inner like elements start swirling about me, and I'm gonna basically latch out onto the metal and kind of pull, now that he's not paying attention, kind of pull it off of them, and if necessary, redirect it to me, because at least if he's going to suck something power, let's see if he can handle something that's not really controllable if it goes awry.
Excellent. Okay, so you want to divert him to the pole. Then you are not charging your powers right now. That's a Nova thing, but you're not doing it right now, right?
No, yeah.
Okay, great. Perfect. Do we have a quick shot of you, like Sky Song does her thing, right, where she shimmers and then she suddenly looks like a blue alien, or Toro. I'm assuming Toro for you it's as simple as like you just put on little horns or something.
Oh, right.
But is there a thing for you, Fission? Are you still wearing your civvies, or can you just transmute your costume?
Yeah, it's the swirl is basically as it, like the clothing transforms into my battle suit,
Perfect.
which is stylish yet effective.
Excellent. Okay. So you want to divert his tendril onto the light pole.
Yep.
Excellent. It sounds to me like that is an unleash your powers is what you're trying to do.
Yep.
So I did just fix your stats. I apologize for the mix-up. It's because I got the order wrong between the two things. So
Okay.
you should be rolling plus your freak, which is a 3.
Alrighty. So 2d6.
Yup.
And it's up there, so I'm trying to see what it says. 6, 7, 8, 9.
Excellent. And just to be clear, at the moment I will do the like you reforming as a team in a second, but for the moment you have 0 team in the pool. If you did, you can spend that to bump that to a 10, but we're just going to move on. I just want to make sure everybody's aware of how that works.
Okay.
So, unleash your powers. That is a 9. You have a choice. You still do the thing, right? You're still going to divert his tendril. It's going to wrap into the pole, and he's going to try to pull power from the energy, from the power grid of the city. But you have to choose to either mark a condition or I get to tell you how the effect is unstable or temporary. So which would you prefer? Do you want to mark a condition?
Yep. I'm angry.
You're angry. Perfect. Okay. Um, quick thing with conditions. So they obviously say next to them -2 to certain moves. So as long as you have that condition marked, you get a -2 on those particular moves. And you can clear conditions in a few different ways. Each condition has some specific action you can do to clear it by the end of the scene. So, for instance, to clear angry, hurt someone or break something important. And then at the end of the scene, if you have done that, you will clear angry. But there are other ways to clear conditions, like if people comfort you or support you, or if you defend. There are lots of other ways to get rid of it.
Okay.
All right. So what does this look like?
I reach out and to raise my hands in similar power pose instead of like that. It's like just raising my hands, and you see the energy ripple out from my hands to the metal, and like just pulling it up and then wrapping it around the pole, so at least it's like hits at least some of the power lines. So at least he's still drawing power, but just not from the people that are, well, not from people.
Yeah, perfect. So, I mean, you wrap his power line, his line around the power, and he starts pulling energy from that. You can watch him get sort of jolted by the pure amount of energy pouring down through his tendril now. It's surprising how much he's taking now. And it's still fueling him. He's still getting bigger, but at the moment he's sort of thrown off balance. Like the comic panel shows, right? People fleeing from the plaza as this is going on. You've got like this big open space now with him in the middle, his cord wrapped around the power line, and the three of you sort of converge in front of him. What do you say? What do you do?
You've chosen the wrong time to attack Dr. Tachyon when Power Pack is on the scene.
What a jerk. You really suck.
I don't say anything. I just look him up and down and do that little head shake. He ain't nothing.
Best team ever. Okay, that is a great entering battle against the dangerous foe as a team moment. So here's what I'm going to say for how this works. First, we add 2 team to the pool. Then, who is your leader in this moment? If you had to pick one of your number to be your leader in this moment, which one is the leader?
I think Fission.
Okay. So Fission, you are the leader. Do you have influence over every other teammate?
Yes.
Excellent. You get another team in the pool. Does everyone have the same purpose in the fight? Fission, what is your primary purpose, your primary objective for this fight?
To capture the enemy.
Excellent. Capture the enemy. And to be very clear, right, like we're saying primary in that sense of if shit gets destroyed, if this plaza gets leveled, that's sort of secondary to capturing him.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Toro, do you agree? Is that your purpose in the fight, to capture this bad guy?
Yes.
Excellent. Skysong, do you agree? Is that your purpose in the fight?
Yes.
Perfect. That means you add another team to the pool. Does any team member mistrust the leader or the team?
No.
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 Excellent. And is your team ill-prepared or off-balance? I do not think you are. You just heroically posed. So, you have 4 team in the pool, ready for your use. Okay, so he's still pulling down that power from the power lines, though, and you watch as he pulls back a bit. Now he's like crackling with lightning, and he says, "None of you understand. I have to do this. I am what they made me. I am what they made me." And his hands thrust forward, and he starts shooting lightning bolts in your direction. What do you do?
Well, I went first last time, so I'm going to wait.
Where did Dr. Tachyon go after all this?
So Dr. Tachyon is on the stage still. Some people ran away, but he looks drained. He's not like he's getting up to his feet, but he's still pretty weak. It looks like after that initial quick draining.
And how far away from me are we from the stage or the podium itself?
Yeah, 20, 30 feet. Not too
Okay.
far.
I'm pretty quick. I'm going to run back and grab myself that podium, which I imagine to be wood or fiberboard or some kind of crappy non-metallic material.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to come back, and this guy's going to be wearing it for a hat.
That's the best ever.
So you're just trying to like shut down his lightning powers quickly by slamming this thing on top.
Yep, just run as fast as I can, do a quick loop, scoop it up, and slam it down.
Okay. So this isn't about defending. This is about like shutting down his powers.
Correct.
So I think this is again unleash your powers. This is about can you move fast enough to get this on top of him and slam it down on him hard.
Right.
So go ahead and roll 2d6 plus freak, which again I apologize I fixed it. So for you it should be yes.
So I've got a 5.
5 total. Okay. Keep in mind you have 4 team, and each other teammate can spend 1 out of the pool to give you a +1. It's only ever a teammate can only ever spend 1 at a time on any given roll. But your 2 teammates can each spend 1 to add +1, bumping that 5 to a 7, as long as there's a thing that makes sense for them to do to help out.
Well, I didn't explain this, by the way, that I was going to do this because I just assumed they're both such smart, brainy, sciencey type people that would instantly have figured out what I was going to do.
Of course.
Oh, no worries there.
Right?
I was like, I told him I knew she was gonna go get the podium and smack it down on his head. I knew that.
As she's running back, I'll reach out with the air to like launch her forward as in a fastball special style.
Oh, that's great. Yes, there's the sigh of the air throwing Toro, and there's the sigh of Toro.
Damn it! You did it again.
That's excellent. So that you are spending a team, right?
Yes, I'll
Vision?
spend. Yep.
Perfect. So that means it's a 6. Sky Song.
And
How are you
I
doing?
will totally spend a team as well because, yeah, I'm gonna. I hope you'll give me a little license here to twist power a little bit. I'm going to use my Mind Blast power to increase her fury because I know she gets irritated about these things.
So you are amping her up by making her more pissed.
Yep.
Excellent.
There's no way that'll go wrong ever.
There's no possible way that could go badly.
I mean, so that makes it a 7, and that means you do it. But it also means you have to choose to either market condition or I get to say how the effect is unstable or temporary. Now, after Sky Song just amped up your anger to make you able to do this, it feels way too perfect for you to just mark anger. But
Oh,
it is your
definitely.
choice. Okay, great.
Let's do that.
That's perfect. That is way
Definitely.
too perfect. All right, so Toro marks angry, but you do it like you with a gust of air and with your increased rage fueling you. You slam the podium down on top of him, and it locks in, like it crushes around him. That burst of lightning he was about to send out, there's nothing to conduct it, so it just gets nullified by like the wood he's right up against. Although it probably explodes or excuse me. It explodes or like gets lit on fire with the sheer force of the lightning that he's pouring against it. But he would get knocked backward and knocked down and stunned as a result, and you can hear his shriek of pain as he gets sent flying backwards. And what's up?
I was just saying, oh, good.
And he stands up sort of looking singed and rather frazzled. He's a little shaky on his feet at this point. And he looks over right at you, Toro. His eyes like lock onto yours. and he says, "You're one too."
Dun,
I'm
dun,
in fact
dun.
giving him the exact head tilt that I'm doing right now.
You. They modified you too.
Oh, do not even try to do this now we're buddies thing.
Buddies? Why would you think? Don't you know?
Oh, would somebody please just hit him?
At which point, I'm going to mind blast him.
Oh gosh, you people! I love these teens. I love them. Go for it. That's directly engage a threat. You just want to knock him down, right?
Yeah.
Great. Excellent. So directly engage a threat. Roll plus danger.
All right. I have a 9.
Excellent. Okay. So that means that you get to choose. You're going to trade blows with him, and you get to choose one from the list. Resist or avoid his blows, take something from him, create an opportunity for your allies, or impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
If somebody would like to spend a team, we could make that a 10.
You could. Can somebody help?
So what did you do?
I mind blasted him.
I
I
like.
overloaded his neural center, his neural centers in his eyes.
Oh, well, that's. I add in some fire to your blast so that it is extra effective from behind, knowing what you're going to do because I am smart.
This is like a 1-2 punch where he gets locked in place by this emotional burst coming from Sky Song, and then a flame blast takes him.
Yep. And I'll spend a team.
Excellent. Okay. All right.
Okay. So
That makes it a 10.
obviously, I'm going to do harm as prescribed by the fiction, and I'm going to resist or avoid their attacks.
You get one other option. So you can resist or avoid his blows, take something from him, create an opportunity for your allies, or impress, surprise, or frighten.
Oh, okay. We'll go with impress, surprise, or frighten.
Excellent.
I think we're
Okay.
going to frighten him.
Impress, surprise, or frighten, and resist or avoid his blows.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so like you can see his face contorting as the mind blast is coming into him, and he actually starts to move with the speed of Dr. Tachyon. He starts to burst forward with a crackle of light, which is when the flame blast takes him, slams him into the ground, and when all is said and done, he's standing back up, looking with this look of pure terror on his face. He looks completely messed up, and he looks absolutely just petrified of you. And he starts scrambling away, like on his butt. He falls backwards, and he's like scrambling away from you. And he just starts saying, "Please, please don't do this. You don't have to do this. Just let me go. Just let me get away. Just let me go." What do you do?
I'm going to try to power up while he's afraid and see if I can pull some of that power that he's been absorbing as I'm powering up off of him.
Okay, you are charging your powers.
Yep.
Excellent. Okay, so go ahead and roll to charge your powers. What does this look like? What was the comic panel?
It's one of like because I see it sort of like the sort of Captain Planet as like earth, air, fire, and water like swirl around like ion stones around
No,
spinning.
that's great. I love it. Go ahead and roll plus conditions marked, right?
Yep. So I have 1 so far. So
Get it.
9.
Excellent. So it's a hit, so you hold 3 burn, but you have to mark a condition.
And so let's go. Let's go with guilty. Because I don't know.
Guilty sort of fits because you're charging up as he's fleeing from you, terrified.
Yeah.
Probably evoking bad feelings.
Yeah, that's not the best idea.
Excellent. But so you've got this like rotating fire, you've got a water, you've got the earth, you've got like a thing of wind around you. Makes me think of like Avatar. Excellent. He sees that, right? He sees you charging up, and he just looks even more frightened. And he's like, I didn't know, I didn't think, I didn't know. Look, I thought it would be quick and easy. I thought it would be fine. Just let me go.
Oh, I don't think so.
Wow.
No,
Seriously?
the authorities are going to have a chat with you.
Wait, no, you don't understand. No. You can't bring me over to them.
So I'm already angry, and
Yeah.
so I'm just going to walk up and kick him in the face.
At each step you take, he's like, no, wait, no, until you're standing right in front of him, and he looks just utterly broken. And his eyes like lock onto you just as you're pulling your foot back, and he says, "You don't have to do this. You don't have
No.
to be what they made you."
But I want to, and then I kick him in the face.
Oh
So
God, yes.
directly engage a threat, so that's a 7.
You do not need to roll. He is not a threat right now. On his
Okay.
butt, scrambling away from you, he is not a threat.
Very good.
So here's the thing, though. Him looking up at you and being like, "You don't have to be this." NPCs, adults in general, NPCs have influence on you by default. So those words would hit you. They would touch you in that moment. And he's saying you don't have to be what they made you. He's saying you probably don't have to be a danger. He's saying you can be something else. You are rejecting what he's saying, right? You're
Right.
just like, screw you. I'm gonna be a danger.
I like being this way. This is awesome. I'm a hero.
Right. So there is the move, reject someone's influence, which is what you're doing. If you had accepted his influence, I would just shift one of your labels down, and I would shift one of your labels up, according to what he said. So probably like I would shift danger down, and I would shift something else up. In this case, you're going to reject his influence, which you would roll to see what happens, because it can go poorly.
Okay.
You're going to roll 2 6-sided dice and add nothing.
Okay, that is a 10.
Perfect.
2 5s.
So on a hit, you successfully hold to yourself and tune them out. And then you would get to choose 2 options. You can clear a condition or mark potential by immediately acting to prove him wrong. When he's trying to tell you don't have to be a danger, kicking him in the face and knocking him out counts as immediately acting to prove him wrong. You can shift one label up and one label down, your choice. So any one stat up, any one stat down. Or you can cancel his influence over you and take +1 forward against him, saying, like, I don't care what he thinks moving forward.
My condition I have right now is angry.
Yes.
So I'm going to say that I reject him completely. I like what they've made me. I don't necessarily like the reasons they did it to me, but I like being a hero. And so after kicking him in the face, I feel a lot better. I've
So you're gonna
worked
clear
that aggression
angry?
out. That's right. Angry's gone.
Angry's gone. You
It's
actually
out of my
do get,
system.
you get another option. So do you want to shift one label up and one label down?
So the labels would be the danger.
Freak, savior, yep.
Sure. So let's shift mundane down
Excellent.
and superior up.
Excellent. Okay. So he is out like a light, lying on the ground in front of you, unconscious, and like that kick took him out. What are you doing? At the moment, people are still running away, but you can hear the sirens in the distance as authorities are probably approaching.
Well, we've decided Fission's our leader, so I kind of shrug and look at him and say, okay, smart guy, now what?
Don't touch him. Obviously, he absorbs powers. We need to get something that we can kind of wrap him up and carry him at least back into the lab, because I know the lab has some place to hold powered people.
Okay.
There should be some tarpaulin inside the lab, so we can like wrap him up, and that way we'll be okay with not
Perfect.
touching him.
Yeah.
There's probably draperies and stuff here, right? We could use those.
Don't rip down the draperies. You're why we can't have nice things.
Oopsie, I
Yeah.
say, pulling down several curtains at once.
I was gonna
Did you say something?
These are really pretty.
That's adorable. We have a scene of Toro just ripping them down and Sky Song like rubbing them. This is pretty.
I like this color. What's this color called?
Fuchsia.
I like fuchsia.
Yeah, so we cut ahead a little bit. You've wrapped him up in the fuchsia drapes. He is completely closed up, like you did it really tight. Did you bring him into the lab?
Yeah, because that's the closest place I know that would have something that can
Oh, no.
hold him. Because I don't think the police station has anything that can handle that.
Okay, great. So inside the lab, Dr. Tachyon has recovered enough. He's come inside with you, along with the woman who essentially was doing the original speech, who is responsible for building the whole lab. Rosa Rook is her name. She's in charge of Rook Industries. So she's in there glad-handing the three of you, and she's like, I cannot express how grateful I am that the Power Pack was there in the audience today. You children are a credit to Halcyon City.
Why, thank you. We're happy to help. I couldn't stand by when people were being threatened, and a good friend of mine or a teammate or being hurt. So.
You, son, you have the makings of a true hero. Tell me, have you ever talked to anybody about sponsorship?
No, we haven't. I didn't know that was a thing.
So she's calling you a hero. She has influence over you. She's shifting your savior up if you take it. Are you going to take that? Are you going to accept what she's saying to you?
I'm going to take it.
Excellent. So we're going to shift your savior up, and we're going to shift down. Let's see here. What can we shift down? She's saying you're a real hero. She's going to shift down your danger. So your danger goes down, your savior goes up.
Okay. Sounds good.
Now, something important to note, just so everybody's aware in advance before it becomes an issue. If ever you would shift something past +3 or past -2, if you would go to +4 or if you would go to -3, nothing changes, nothing shifts, and instead you simply mark a condition. It messes with your head to see yourself too much as one thing or too little as one thing. Okay? All right, so she actually is going to just start talking to you, Fission, all about how, like, oh, I would love to have you sign the forms. Your team, you can sign that. We'll copyright your team name. Oh, you have some dispute with some tiny little comic imprint, Marvel Comics, whatever they are, whatever. We'll handle that. We'll deal with that. And you will have corporate sponsorship. We'll give you a base. We'll give you new uniforms. We'll give you new icons.
A base? We could have a house. You wouldn't have to live in that crappy, like, substandard, like, hovel that you live in. I look over at Toro.
So as soon as this woman referred to us as children,
Yep.
kind of the attitude level visibly went up, and as she's been talking, it's going up and up and up. And I'm not saying anything rude to her, but the posture and the look and everything is just not happy.
But T, new uniforms,
Oh,
new costumes,
You don't like
color.
Skystar, are you saying you don't like my costume?
No, I love your costume.
You think it makes me look fat? Is that
No,
it?
no.
I don't think she knows what that means.
Oh, I suppose you do.
Yeah? Of course I do. That's why you don't have to worry about that. You're designed not to ever have to worry about that.
Oh, and how would you know?
Oh, shit. So that's a thing. I'm going to call that out, because him saying you're designed to not have to worry about that is him really calling you not human, right? He's
Oh, yes.
emphasizing. So he has influence over you. So this will shift your labels. Your freak is going to go up if you
Okay.
accept it. Do you want to reject it? Throw it in his face.
No, I'll accept that.
Okay, you accept it. Great. So I think your freak will go up because he's absolutely calling you like something
freak.
created,
A
right?
freak.
Sure.
And I guess the question would be, though, perhaps the important question, what would go down? Because you currently have a mundane -2, and that's probably my first instinct.
Yeah, I think that would be mundane.
Okay,
would
so
be-
so actually what this means is nothing would change, because your mundane's at a -2. It can't go any lower. You'd in fact mark a condition. Are you still cool with that? You still want to accept?
Yep, no, that's fine.
All right. So what condition do you want to mark?
So I would say insecure, but I don't really care about what Fission thinks. So let's try angry.
Yeah, that fits. So, like, we can visibly see the comic panel, right? We have the two panels side by side where we see Toro's face in the first one and Toro's face in the second one, and, like, with the eyebrows narrowing probably and that pissed expression.
Right.
What do you say, Toro?
I don't say anything. I'm just radiating anger and attitude so much that I don't really need to say anything.
He understands.
It's the kind of thing where anybody who just walked into the room and took one look at us would walk right back out.
I don't understand. Why are you angry now? I have absolutely no clue. It's like 1 minute you're fine. The next minute you want to punch something.
Stop talking.
Okay, I'm not sure how to frame this. Toro, you and I both know that he really just doesn't understand.
Right?
He's just not. He's just not in tune. He just doesn't understand. And I am going to comfort or support.
Yep, you're trying to calm her down by being like, just let it go. He doesn't get it.
He doesn't understand. It's not you, it's him.
I will accept that.
This is a move that Skysong is triggering. So Skysong actually has to roll
Right.
2d6 plus mundane, and remember you have influence over Toro that will give you a +1 here.
Right.
So your mundane +1.
I have a 7.
Perfect. Okay. So on a hit, which is a 7 or higher, they hear you. So they mark potential, clear condition, or shift labels if they open up to you. So Toro, you have to open up to Skysong. You actually don't have to. You can do whatever you want. But if you open up to Skysong in response to this comfort or support, you, Toro, would get to mark potential, clear condition, or shift labels.
Okay.
Skysong is the final arbiter of whether it's enough, whether you have opened up, right? If Skysong's like, nah, I don't think you really opened up to me. I think you're still pretty closed. Then that's the case. You'd have to give more. Is that cool?
That's fine.
All right. So what do you do, Toro?
So I think, assuming this works, I assume my anger would be cleared. But as soon as she kind of says that and be calm and he doesn't know, I just take one look at her and I say, you always just know the right thing to say. You're not like these guys. And I throw my arms around her and give her the biggest hug.
No.
And the comic panel is my eyes about that big.
Right.
Too many feels. Too many feels.
All the feels.
Skysong, is that opening up?
Oh, yeah,
enough?
I'm good with that.
Okay.
I'm good with that. That's actually what I was looking for specifically.
That'll clear your anger. Yeah, we pull back a little bit to Fission just watching this spectacle.
Poor Fission, he's so outnumbered.
Really? Fine.
I totally had this picture of Fission turning around going, girls.
Girls. I mean, Rose and Rook actually will take your hand, Fission, or take your arm and be like, "Oh, they are just adorable. We can sell that really well."
If you can sell that, then I am amazed.
No, look at it. It's perfect. You've got the gruff, tough girl on one side. You've got the bubbly blue one on the other side. We can easily color coordinate it. You just stick with me, kid. I'm gonna make you all millionaires.
Um, well, we'll have to discuss this as a team, and then we will get back to you. So is that okay?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were the team leader.
I am, but this is America. We're a democracy.
It's America. We're a democracy.
Beautiful.
She says,
I don't actually understand this word, but that's
That's the
Are you-
best thing ever.
"Are you guys still hugging, or have you broken apart by this
Yeah,
point?"
no, I totally missed the whole conversation that
Right.
Fisher was having with this lady because I'm giving Sky Song a hug and I kind of say, "You smell really nice."
Oh my god. That's amazing. It's in the background too of our panel, so you can periodically read as this hug
Right.
continues to go on. You can read the tiny little speech bubble. You smell really nice. Um, she says, "I appreciate where your heart's at, but let's face it. Really, what makes you a superhero is that you're willing to seize the reins and make the hard calls that no one else can make. Are you telling me that when push comes to shove, you aren't willing to make the right choice for your team?"
Well, and I don't think this is a place where there's a right choice. All the choices are still available to us. When it comes down to life or death, or people are on the line, that's different. This isn't one of those occasions.
I think that
Money is never a life or death decision.
I think you're underestimating it, kid. Maybe it's because you are just a child and you don't fully understand the way the world works. But let me tell you how it actually is out there. See, if you want the ability to make things better, it's not about just your heroics, it's about what you can pull in the city. What I'm offering to you is real power in the form of money. And this offer may not be on the table forever.
Because I'm angry still,
Yep.
and I'm still charged up. So I'm gonna make with some reality altering here. Let me.
Oh no.
No, because reality storm.
Wait, you're gonna.
Or no,
So,
no. Oh, sorry, I forgot. I have
okay.
another one. Worship. I have worship.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so what does worship do?
You put on a tremendous display of might. Spend one burn to awe an audience into silence, respect, and attention when you unleash your powers. She's basic. I'm pretty much. I need to clear angry too, so I'm gonna break some shit while I'm doing it. And because she's basically said, "I want to show you the real power of money," and I'm gonna say pretty much like your money pales in comparison to the power that I wield just accidentally, and then just like light up the room, like earth, air, fire, water in a just shocking display of raw power. And I'm
Excellent.
like eyes glowing with fire, and
I love it. So you spend one of your 3 burn,
yep.
and you still have to roll to unleash your powers and keep
Alrighty.
this shit under control.
Oops.
So roll plus freak.
And my freak is as I switch over to that. Freak is 3, so yeah, 11. So
It works perfectly. Like, it is this astonishing display. You do ruin the entire room that you're in, and like you had passed into this laboratory, right? You were taking Siphon back to be held. So you're passing like through some of the lab spaces, and you're just breaking all of the equipment around you. But it's this incredible display as like the fire and the wind and the water is swirling around you. Um, she totally takes a step back, a look of pure shock on her face. And ultimately, when you settle down, she sort of does a thing where she like straightens her collar. She says, My. Perhaps I underestimated you.
You did. And I kind of float back down to the ground, but I'm like no longer feeling so angry now. And I'm like, so, like you said, I'll discuss with my team, and then we'll get back to you.
Very well. I'll give you some time. And she like snaps her fingers, and some assistant comes running on with some contract agreement, like as if these people live in the walls. She hands it over to you, and then she says, "Just please don't take too long."
Of course.
So then she leads you back into the back of the lab where there are holding cells, where there is some equipment that can be used to hold this guy. He is still pretty groggy, but he's sort of coming to at around the same time that you are putting him into one of these cells. And so he's waking up and like muttering to himself, "Huh? Where?" And his eyes grow wide as he sees his surroundings and that he's about to be put in a cell. And then he starts shouting and screaming. Who's putting him in the cell?
Go ahead.
Probably me.
Toro's. Okay, great. He starts shouting and screaming and saying, "Don't do this to me again!"
We had this conversation. Shut up. God.
Shove him in.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, you shove him in, and you close the door, and the cell silences his voice as you can see him through the window, charging up and pounding on the door, but completely trapped inside. Rosa says, "Very, very well done." You can all go now.
I'm gonna go over and check on Dr. Taki.
I would like to take a closer look at Rosa Rook.
Totally.
Because her actions and her demeanor are bothering me.
Absolutely. So would you like to pierce her mask?
I'm debating whether it makes more sense to try to assess the situation.
So assess the situation is a move for when you're like, I look around, I'm trying to see what's around here, what can I use?
Right.
That's more about like taking in your surroundings. If you want to get a good look at her or what she's thinking, that's piercing the mask.
Yep, then we will pierce the mask.
Excellent. So Sky Song is taking a close look at Rosa Rook. Go ahead and roll 2d6 plus your mundane.
I have a 9.
Ooh.
Perfect.
And if someone would like to help me, I'd really love to bump that to a 10.
So can somebody help Sky Song pierce Rosa Rook's mask?
I'm trying to think.
I'll take the 9. I'll take the 9 because I get to ask one question.
You do.
If I take the 9, and I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
And there are times when it's hard to come up with a way to make team fit, and it's fine.
Yeah. No, it's good. Besides, we only have one left, and I'd like to hang on to it.
Yep.
What are you really planning?
And can I ask you, in particular, are you looking at her with relation to Fission? Are you looking at her with relation to Siphon in the cell? Like, what when the comic panel shows you in one side of the panel looking at Rosa Rook, what is she looking at that you're trying to like focus on?
I think I'm going to go with Siphon.
Okay, great.
That,
'Cause
that makes more sense to me because I think I kind of from a fiction standpoint, I think I kind of understand what she's after as far as Fission and our team is concerned.
totally.
She wants control and she wants the notoriety of representing us, as it were.
Totally.
But I really want to know what her intentions towards Siphon are, because I think they're not good.
Yeah. So, I mean, you are looking at her face as she looks at Siphon, and this look passes over it. This like cold, clinical, um, calculating look. This she's not looking at a person anymore. She's looking at a thing that is going to be diced and taken apart and examined. And immediately it clicks to you that her looking at Siphon, she's not looking at a new asset that she's gained. She's looking at like something that she already knows how to play with, knows how to take apart, wants to take apart and put back together. Like her plans here are clearly about using Siphon or learning something from Siphon, and it's based on already knowledge of Siphon that she has.
Yeah, I figured that's what you were going to say.
So I mean, when she said you all can go, I mean, Skysong obviously kept looking at her. But it seems like maybe Fission started to leave, and maybe Toro started to leave, or at least moved towards the door, because you wanted to go see Dr. Tachyon, right?
Correct.
Yes.
And she notices Skysong like staring at her, and she sort of turns, and she says, "Can I help you, dear?" That like false facade of pleasantness back on.
No, I'm fine. Thank you.
You're quite welcome, dear. If you need anything at all, please don't hesitate to ask me. I find extraterrestrials especially fascinating, and I'd love to talk to you about your people.
Pardon me.
I,
Just a second.
the thought bubble, it's purely a thought bubble on the comic panel is, I doubt that.
Thinking of the alien battle fleets.
Because I'm like, that's totally my trump card.
If everything goes to pot, call
If
it.
everything goes to hell in a basket, I just take my friends, we jump on in the Miata, and off we go into space while my people come down and nuke from orbit.
Like you do.
I feel like you could have a theme song playing when that happened.
Yeah.
So just to be clear, then you're like turning away as she offers if you need anything else, and you're going to follow the rest of your team out.
I am, but I'm not. No, I'm just going to leave casually, as just like there is nothing amiss here, that I didn't notice anything wrong.
Okay.
But I am totally keeping my guard up.
Got it. Okay. You're keeping your guard up, but you're like trying to put on this air of like everything's fine. Everything's fine.
It's all good. We're all
Great.
good.
Okay.
I'll have a chat with Fission and Toro in a bit, but
Sure. So they left, and you sort of trail behind them. They were headed for Dr. Tachyon. So you go out into the lab proper, which is now ruined by Fission's display of power and awesomeness. And Dr. Tachyon is like
so messy.
He's picking through some of the remains with a crutch that he was given by some paramedic who showed up, because he's still having a hard time moving after having had so much energy pumped out of him by Siphon. And when he sees you guys coming in, he looks up and he says, "Was destroying the lab really necessary?"
I'm sorry. I overreacted. Have had things were tense.
I would have expected this from her, not from you.
well, we had her and I also seemed to had a little argument as well. So and then she called me kid, child, and
No, I meant her, and he points at Toro.
oh,
I'm right here.
At which point, I'm going to totally give him that one eyebrow lifted teenage girl look.
Look, all I'm saying is we all know that you aren't the most stable, and that's why it's important that, especially while we're all here, we should all talk about you coming in. The two of you, especially, pointing at Toro and Fission, should come in and work with me so we can get better results, so we can really catalog your anomalies and your powers. It's the only way we're going to be able to help you with your own imbalances.
You didn't seem like you were really good at helping anybody a few minutes ago.
well, that's unfair.
No, it's true.
Anybody attacked from surprise is going to be taken unawares. That's sort of what surprise is about.
So he had to have 3 kids pull his butt out of the fire, is what I'm seeing. Isn't that right, Dr. Tachyon?
Yeah, that's excellent. Okay, so you are provoking him.
Yes, I am.
Now, here's a quick thing for provoke. When you provoke someone, you tell me out of character what you actually want them to do. Because what you're doing in fiction may not point to what you actually want them to do. The classic example is I'm like, come on, man, bring it. What are you going to do? Hit me. Come on, I dare you, hit me. I don't actually want you to hit me. I want you to back down and leave me alone. What I actually want. But what I'm saying is obviously hit me. So in this case, what do you actually want him to do?
I probably sound like I'm trying to provoke him into getting angry, but I'm really trying to do that superior teenage girl thing where I'm just trying to make him feel like he's about 13 and incompetent and, his clothes are all funny and there's probably something on his nose and he just feels like a terrible, insecure mess.
You want him to be super insecure and to leave you alone as a result.
Yes, correct.
Excellent. Okay. So go ahead and roll plus superior. Roll 2d6 plus your superior.
Okay, let me check. My superior is +2. And I apologize, I have to do this manually.
Not a problem.
Ooh, 10 on the roll, so 12 total.
Excellent. Okay. So what that means is he does it. He falls for the bait, he rises to the bait, and he does what you want. So, after you say you needed 3 kids to save your butt, didn't you, Doc? He's like, well, but there were, yeah, but maybe you should just...
On Regulus 4, and I'm totally making this up, by the way. I'm totally making this up. On Regulus 4, they catalog people's abilities and what they can do and who they are and where they're from and what group they belong to. And they even brand it on their... Well, they have tentacles, but on their tentacles. And I seem to remember a group doing the same thing on this planet.
Oh,
not so long ago.
So that would normally be a provoke, but especially because after what Toro
he's already been provoked.
He's already been cowed, right? Yeah. So he's like, as you say that, the look of shock it comes across his face, and he's all, no, nothing like that. I'm gonna go talk to Rosie.
What I'm really after, from a fiction standpoint, what I'm really after is to put to plant a thought in primarily Fission's mind that these people can't be trusted.
Sure. If you want to make that comic panel, your eyes turn to Fission, like you finish your speech pointing at Fission. If you want to provoke Fission to do something, you can absolutely do that.
I don't really need to provoke Fission to do something, but I would be
Okay.
probably leaning on influence over him a little bit.
Sure. Well, so provoking, bless you.
Bless you.
Provoking him is good for if you want him to do something in particular. Your influence over him is useful if you want to shift how he sees himself.
I am totally fine with letting him be himself.
Okay.
No, go ahead. I provoke, because I'm like, cause if it goes badly, I know what I'm doing.
Excellent.
Okay,
This will
we'll
end
go
well.
there. We will go there.
What do you want to
I'm
provoke
okay with
Fission
that.
to do?
What I want Fission to do is to think about these people and what they're doing, and how it's just by the nature of what they're trying to do, it is a violation of the civil rights that, as Americans, he says he believes in.
And so in the fiction in this moment, it seems like you would want that to be maybe Fission expresses that by like saying something or talking down to Dr. Tachyon, like getting Dr. Tachyon out of here, or like finishing all three of you banded together against Dr. Tachyon, something like that.
Something like that.
Because the thing for provoke that we want is we want him to do something right now, right here, that clearly he does. So does that fit, or is there something else you have in mind?
I'm okay with that. We don't have to. I'm not necessarily after us to attack him.
Sure.
Physically, but
you're talking down to Dr. Tachyon. Toro is talking down to Dr. Tachyon. The only one on your team who's not is Fission. It sounds like you're trying to get him on the same page.
I want him on the same page.
Perfect. All right. So go ahead and roll plus superior.
I have an 11.
Wow.
Okay, so this is for a PC, so it's a little different. It means that for you, Fission, if you do it, if you follow through on this, sort of talk down Dr. Tachyon, join with your team, you'll get to add a team to the pool. If you don't, you'll have to mark a condition.
Because I agree with what he's saying. I will join in. I'm like, currently, it looks like what you're doing is going to be using the people that are put here for further experimentation, which is only going to traumatize them more. And I don't think that's the best idea. And it really saddens me when you've been helping me learn how to control what I've already been doing to make me not want to do that anymore.
So you join in on this, like, pile on Dr. Tachyon. Poor Dr. Tachyon, he's had such a hard day. And then you kids, you just ruined this day for him. No, that's great. He looks at you with hurt in his eyes because he's surprised that you are saying this to him. I thought that if anybody would be on his side, it would be you. But he says, I need to go talk to Miss Rook about replacing the equipment. I'll keep you apprised of the situation here.
Thank you.
Please consider coming in and letting me help you.
Yes.
At that like pointed moment, like that's when he nods and he exits.
We should leave.
I agree.
Up and away!
So, where do the three of you hang out or convene? Where do you spend time together?
I would say the library, but I don't think that or the junkyard to blow shit up. I would want to go to the junkyard to blow shit up.
Ah, that's adorable.
I'm okay with this plan.
Books are really quaint. I mean, they're But why did you murder trees?
Well, you can get them electronically, too. I just don't like them. Electronics sometimes, just fail.
Don't you just like think the words and they appear in your brain?
Not all of us are telepathic.
Oh,
So
really?
are you headed to the junkyard or the library?
Junkyard.
Junkyard,
Okay.
totally.
Okay. All right. So we cut to the junkyard. This is probably a relatively large one, so there's plenty of space for you guys to settle down, and no one's going to pay attention or notice that you are blowing up old cars, unless maybe you even have a deal with the person who owns it that like your blowing up cars actually helps him, like helps get some of the nastier property off of his out of his junkyard, some of the old decrepit stuff, so he doesn't have to buy a crusher.
I like
Um,
that idea because that's
Sure.
also how we help support Toro, so that way
oh, that's great.
going
Right.
forward, she doesn't
He
have to
doesn't need a
fly.
crusher. He has a Toro.
That's
Right.
great. He has a Toro.
Right.
And so there we are in the junkyard, and I'm imagining that like Toro's literally crushing a car, like squeezing it in her hands.
I'll probably put it up into the air so these guys can,
Shoot it.
shoot it, skeet shoot it with their powers.
Pull!
Right.
No.
Exactly.
Fission is skeet shooting the flying cars because, um, my
Exactly.
powers don't really do that. So I'm actually perched on a car somewhere. And I have developed this, a, not quite addiction, but a real fondness for these fizzy sweet drinks that you have on your planet. And they're in bright colors.
Well,
We've
since
introduced her to the bubble tea.
Oh, there we
Yes.
There you
go.
go.
Since she is watching, I'm probably being a little extra show offy with how I'm throwing these things into the air for fishing.
Aw. Look how high I can throw them.
And I'm like, occasionally I'll pitch one at you for you to catch, so that way I will help you show off. Catch!
And I don't know how to feel about that.
Guess he's
Aw, that's even better.
Right. So on the one
Uh,
hand, it's showing off more. On the other hand, it's you helping me, which I really don't like.
Winning.
So yeah, what are you talking about?
Um,
That could have
this
went better.
this agreement that Rook woman gave you,
Mhm.
we shouldn't sign it. She's not a good person.
How do you? Oh, I would ask, how do you know? But you're a telepath, so I assume at some point you'll tell me. Because I was worried about Dr.
She
Tachyon.
she was looking at Siphon and at us as um, wait, what's the word? Oh, lab rats.
Ooh, that's not good.
Um, it would not surprise me if Siphon is already in pieces,
Ew.
which is sad because despite being a really, a jerk, no one deserves to be cut up like that
So,
or treated like that. I don't know that he was cut up. I just think that that's what she had in mind.
okay, that's not good. And wasn't he saying that he was? This is touchy. God damn it. He was like you, Toro? I mean, did I
Oh,
hear that?
whatever. He probably was just saying that because he wanted to, not hit him anymore.
Well, yeah, no one wants to be hit, I agree, but I don't remember you telling many people outside of us that you were experimented on.
Oh, like I tell you, everyone I talk to.
Okay, okay. Um, it sounds like we most probably should talk to him to find out more, at least. I mean, I'm, knowledge is power.
Well, I don't like her either. I mean, did you see how she was talking to us? She kept calling us kids, and she was, so over it. And I agree. I think we should go back and find out what's going on, even if that guy was an idiot and a jerk.
Well, and
So
if
we're gonna break into Rook Labs.
Can't we just walk in? We have a contract, right? Isn't she waiting for us?
well, we can make it less obvious. Like we want to talk to him because we might as well be open about it. Like we'll go in and say, hey, we need to ask him a few questions because he said some stuff that we need to find out. And we're also here to kind of test out what's going on here with this contract. And I'm just seeing what the level of your cooperation with us while we're considering that is, so we can try to play him. Does that make sense?
Sure, sounds good.
Ooh.
So as you've been talking, um, you sort of pick up on it now. There are a lot of eyes scattered around the junkyard staring at you.
Oops.
And
I'm
when you
not.
look around, it's like cats and dogs and a squirrel.
That's.
Okay, well, I was okay with cats and dogs, but if there's a squirrel, I'm out.
I'm out!
Are they like approaching or just being like? Is this odd dog behavior or?
They're all just sitting or standing on pieces of equipment and staring at you,
That
unmoving.
is weird.
This is not proper animal behavior.
Really? Dogs don't act. Canines don't act like this on your planet? Because
No.
they always act
No.
like this on my planet.
Oh, maybe it's you. Do they like you or something?
Do you talk to dogs too?
Do you?
No.
One of the cats walks forward, and it walks right up to Toro, and it puts a little paw on your leg. And it extends its claws in slowly. You can feel it pricking at your jeans. And then it pulls its paw away, and then it starts walking away from you.
Maybe they just want to be fed?
It stops walking, it looks back over its shoulder, its eyes piercing you, and it's waiting.
I already. Hold
I'm
on.
sorry.
I think it wants you to follow it.
Okay. I'll start to follow it.
And we will follow her. This can't end poorly at all.
So you follow this cloud of animals through the junkyard, and they lead you outside over a little ways to a nearby like abandoned building right by the junkyard, an abandoned old warehouse. The animals just move inside as this cloud, and if you ever stop moving, they wait patiently until you. And it sounds like Toro's in the lead. So Toro, you're the first one inside, and in the abandoned warehouse, there's like dirt and rubble, and it's a mess, old pallets and crates everywhere. But there's a single solitary figure in the middle of the warehouse, surrounded by still further animals. And you can see like birds fluttering over the figure's head, and you can see snakes slithering on the ground around the figure's feet, and she's seated in what you quickly realize is actually a wheelchair as the animals pull you closer. And once you're close enough, the animals just depart from you and join that swarm right around her.
Hi?
That's what she looks like.
Okay. Doesn't look friendly.
So she says, I heard you talking.
Okay.
If you're going to take action against Rook, I would like to lend assistance.
Why?
And you are...
Somebody who has my own bone to pick with Rook. Not unlike you. She points at Toro.
Okay.
Again, I'm going to ask why.
Well, it's simple, really. They would love to get their hands on me as well.
W- Were you
So
experimented on?
She sort of bends down and shifts some of the hair away from the back of her head, and she tilts around so you can see scars at the base of her skull and little metal pieces sticking out.
Do you, I mean, but you know who did it, though. It's not like Toro, whose memories are.
I'm still right here.
I apologize. My culpa. Toro she has some memory issues about this, but it seems everybody else doesn't. And so that's why we're trying to figure out what's going on. So you remember?
We're each affected in different ways, some more, some less, but I've had enough time to recover, and I've had some help piecing together what happened. She gestures to like the cloud of animals around her.
Huh. So did the experiments give you the ability with the animals? Or were you like that before?
Well, I was always good with animals, but I couldn't connect with them like this until I was given certain advantages by the experiments. But that doesn't mean it's not mine. That doesn't mean they have the right to take anything back from me, and I'd like to ensure that they can't.
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out. We're trying to figure out, we want to make sure that they aren't being horrible to people, because that we can't allow. And
Well,
like Sky.
let me tell you what's going to happen, because I heard your little plan to walk in there and ask to see the kid that you apprehended today. Let me tell you how that will go. You, she points at Vision, you will probably be plugged into a battery somewhere where you will provide power for the rest of the Rook Industries buildings. You, she points over at Skysong, you'll be taken apart to be studied to see if there's any valuable pieces we can take and put in anybody else. And you, she points over at Toro, well, they'll probably just reactivate you.
Hmm. My only problem here is you said we in that discussion. So you're still adding yourself in there too.
If you let me help you, then you don't have to be caught. If you insist on just walking in and talking to them, then of course they're just going to catch you. They're just going to do whatever they want with you. But come
how
on.
can you help us?
Well, I can provide you with information, with guidance, with a distraction. I can provide you with everything you need to get in there, get what you're after, get the boy, get him out, without ever being caught or seen. All you have to do is leave behind a bit of a mess. That seems to be something you kids are good at, isn't it? The power pack.
And we should trust you why exactly?
Maybe you shouldn't. The truth is, kid, everybody has their secrets. I have my reasons for doing this, and you have yours. I'm sure that you're keeping some things secret yourself, aren't you? She looks very meaningfully at Skysong. You see, the truth is, My little helpers, they see in all kinds of nooks and crannies and corners and places you wouldn't think anybody would be watching. So I know all kinds of things. Things you
It's
wouldn't
just so
expect.
creepy.
I know enough that I'm willing to trust you three to get this job done. But if you're not willing to share me the same courtesy, well, maybe I should illuminate some of those secrets just to make sure that you can trust each other.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Were you this much of a bitch before the experiment, or did they install that too?
Oh, 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 oh my.
Oh, that's so Toro. So Toro, I want to know: are you trying to that's a provoke? So you're probably trying to provoke her. Do you want her to do something? Do you want her to flip out, lose her shit, reveal something?
I want her to reveal something. Well, I'm upset with the way she's treating Sky Song. So obviously, the obvious thing I'm doing is trying to insult her,
Defending
make her
Sky
feel
Song.
bad. But I want her to back off because she's
Actually,
being.
no. That's great. This isn't a provoke then. That's perfect. What this actually is a defend. You're
Okay,
defending Sky Song.
great.
You're interposing yourself
Right.
between her and Sky Song. That's perfect. All right, so go ahead and roll to defend, because it's defend someone or something from an immediate threat. That doesn't have to be like a physical threat. She's a threat to Sky Song's self well-being, essentially.
So I have with the bull's heart for defender. I have danger. I don't know if this counts as that situation. I have danger instead of savior for defense.
Let's see. I'm pretty sure it does, but just to make sure, when you leap to defend your love or rival in battle, roll plus danger instead of plus savior to defend them. So I guess the question is this really battle? This still is a defend, but it might not actually be a battle. Because you're not yet fighting her. So I think it's
Right.
still savior right here.
Okay, so that's a -1, and I will roll. Let's see, 2d6. That's a 5, so 4 total.
Okay.
Ouch.
You only have 2
Ouch.
team left in the pool, so it can't get up to a 7 anyway. But you do get to mark potential. So you sort of step forward and you're like, were you this much of a bitch before the experiments? And a dark look crosses over her face. And she says this string of words, seemingly nonsensical, periodically dipping into other languages. And when she finishes the string, though, you watch as Toro's eyes grow unfocused. And without any warning, Toro's fist snaps out at Sky Song. And Sky Song, you have a split second to react before that fist strikes you. What do you do?
I am going to mind blast her because I don't really trust her. I want to trust her, but she's being all creepy and mysterious, and so I think we need to establish some parameters here. So I'm going to mind blast her.
So if you're gonna mind blast Pack Alpha, that's just fine. But that means that Toro is still gonna hit you because that's her fist is hurtling at your face right this second. So just so we're on the same page, as long as we're all cool with that.
Can I do something?
If you want to defend defend Sky Song, yeah, I'm good with that.
Well,
But
I don't really have a defensive move per se,
I do.
like a dodge or something.
Well, part of this is you just tell me what you actually physically are doing.
Okay. See, I'm actually a little bit torn here because part of me wants to just take it, but on the other hand, I don't because there would be ramifications later. So I'm gonna dodge. I'm gonna dodge the blow.
So you are flinging yourself out of the way.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna interpose.
What do you do, Vision?
I'm going to interpose. I'll spend I have 2 burn left. I'll use one of my burns to like put myself right in between.
So normally you lose your burn at the end of the scene.
Oh, okay. Then I'll.
I'm fine with saying you can quickly charge up and try to throw a shield in the way.
Yeah, that's
But
what. Yeah.
but also you don't have to charge up. You can just plain try to defend Sky Song anyway.
Yeah, that's what I want to do then.
Okay.
Just plain out defend.
Okay. I mean, so Sky Song is throwing herself out of the way, and so it's not really unleash your powers, right? Because it's not really dependent upon Sky Song's powers. She's just trying to get herself out of the way of the punch. But it sounds like Fission is throwing up a shield of air or fire or earth or something, right?
Yep.
To knock Toro's punch out of the way. So go ahead and roll to defend Sky Song. That is plus Savior.
Hey, I've just gotten better at being a savior. 10.
Okay. So on a hit, you keep them safe and choose one. And on a 10, there's no other consequences. So what do you want to do? Do you want to add a team to the pool? Do you want to take influence over someone you protect, a.k.a. Sky Song? Or do you want to clear a condition?
I'm going to clear a condition because I'm still guilty.
Perfect. So you clear guilty. What kind of shield? What does it look like? What did you call up that just stops the punch?
Air. I mean, basically, as she just hits air, so all the force is dispersed, so that it goes away.
That's perfect. Yeah, and I mean, Sky Song, you fling yourself out of the way as that air shield comes right up, and
Oh, I am so mad now.
Pack Alpha barks another word, and Toro's eyes refocus. What do you do, Sky Song?
Yeah. I am going to draw the light in this place into me.
Yeah.
Because I am about to unleash that solar bomb, explosion that we talked about a minute ago earlier. Because, yeah, you just screwed with my love interest.
Whoops.
And to put it in not so gentle terms, she mind fucked my love interest. So yeah, that's not cool. I am not down with that at all.
So you are directly engaging.
I am directly engaging her. Yeah.
Hit it. This is plus danger.
Yep. I like danger. Danger is fun.
So Toro, you are coming back to yourself at the same instant that Sky Song was turning into a brilliant, blazing corona of energy and light.
Except not so much. I got a 5.
Whoops.
So that's a 5. I sort of feel like it may not make sense, but technically you do have 2 team in the pool. So if the
I know. I don't. I'm gonna let it. I want to let the fiction happen the way it happens.
Okay.
So this is gonna. I will just. I see it working, but
Oh yeah.
having disastrous effects for me in some way.
So describe to me exactly what you see yourself doing. Describe to me what.
The comic book panel for this would be, that moment when everything goes dark and like my face is like a twisted mask of rage, and which is an emotion that's not allowed on my planet, by the way.
Of course.
And I am really about to unleash every last bit of doom on her.
As we just see, like you're lighting up, like light is pouring out of you.
Yeah. Eyes are glowing.
Yeah. Okay.
Good
So
times.
let me see quickly.
Does it look like he? Because once again, for me, like if it looks like he's then gonna lash out, or if she's gonna lash out at her, I'm like, there's no way she can take that either, and I would once again defend. Because it's like, no, dear God, you people can't be doing this.
um, yeah. I think that you pour out this giant beam of light, and like for you, Fission, you threw the shield, you stopped Toro's punch, and you're just pulling your energy back to yourself at the same time that Skysong releases this blazing beam right at Pack Alpha. As soon as that happens, Pack Alpha, like the swarm of animals, leaps up to get in the way of the path of the beam, um, and some of them actually start pushing her away out of the path, while others are trying to like block it with their own bodies. The ultimate effect, though, is the beam just blasts through the animals, slices through the other side of this abandoned warehouse, like just cuts this light blazing, burning through the walls, blasting straight through to the other side. As you slice through a whole part of this warehouse, it starts collapsing. The roof above you is wobbling, and it's about to collapse down upon you. Pack Alpha is getting pushed out by her animals. You are still beneath this roof as it is starting to come down.
I will, I will grab them and launch ourselves out.
Okay, so you are just going to grab them and try to fling yourselves out.
Yep.
That's defend. You are trying to defend them from a threat because you're using your own body primarily.
Yep.
Go for it.
11.
Excellent. Okay, so that means you defend them, and you would get to choose one. Do you want to clear condition, add a team to the pool, or take influence over one of them?
Influence is either it's already there or not, right?
So here's the trick. If you already have influence over them, and you would take it again, instead of taking it again, you instantly get to shift one of their labels up and one of their labels down. You instantly get to adjust their character a little bit.
I'm going to take influence then. And
Over which one?
Toro.
Excellent. What are you shifting up and what are you shifting down?
I'm going to shift danger down and savior up.
Excellent. What does that look like? Like, what do you say to Toro as you fling her and Skysong out under your arms? What do you say to her that then shifts her labels?
I was like, I can't let you all be hurt by the things that you're not really even aware of. And it's kind of like as the crap is hitting me in the back and making sure that they're okay.
As the building is collapsing and like you're getting filled with debris, you smash out through one of the warehouse windows. Like the three of you come falling down on the ground right outside as the warehouse starts to completely collapse downward. Pack Alpha herself has been pulled out nearby you. That swarm of animals, its hackles raised, is like all over her, protecting her. And she just looks over and she says, all I wanted to prove was how dangerous these people can be.
So I guess the answer to my question was before?
Let's pick yourself up.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Currently,
I know they're dangerous.
Everybody needs to take a breath. You, and I'm looking at Skysong, you need to breathe in, breathe out. Because you don't understand these emotions as well as you think. Because that is new. That was really, really new. Just so you understand. Not appropriate. Inappropriate. So, everybody, breathe in.
I'm going to look. There's that moment, that comic panel where we just like look at each other, and I'm just going to turn away and turn to Pack Alpha. I know they're dangerous. I know that Rook cannot be trusted, and Rook has bad intentions. What I don't know is what your intentions are.
All I'm asking you to do is to destroy their lab. And if you understand how dangerous they
See,
are,
if you had said that, if you had just said that,
all I'm saying is I can get you in, and all I need you to do is leave a ruin behind.
You
Toro,
realize I did that
trash the lab.
2 hours ago.
You broke equipment. I'm not talking about breaking equipment. I'm talking about leaving a ruin.
I
Toro,
can't.
Yes.
trash the lab.
2 votes for yes.
Fist bump.
Before you agree, you understand what the word ruin means, and I'm not sacrificing people. People aren't dying because of this. We can destroy the lab, but ruin means dropping the building. And when I do that, because I've done that, people pay a price greater than what you just saw in there, just so you understand, as I'm looking at her. So if you want that, there's something more coming. Because I am not wearing that alone.
You're saying this to Pack Alpha, right?
Yeah.
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 She says, you can destroy it however you want. If you want to get all the people out, fine. You do that. As long as it's destroyed.
Increasingly, I'm thinking that's a good idea.
Wonderful.
I will say that I agree. 2, unlike my friend over there who thinks you did something to Toro, I realize that you just did something that was already programmed into Toro. And so that I'm unhappy with.
My little helpers hear all kinds of things.
And then not open to blackmail. So if you have shit, you might as well reveal it now and just get it over with. So that we can deal with whatever the fallout is, since you obviously will drop it at the worst possible time, so that you and whatever is nearby will get destroyed. And so deal your cards now. I don't have time to play this game.
You're trying to provoke her into something clean.
Yeah.
Go for it. Go ahead. Roll plus superior.
And what's my superior? 0. So I have a 6 if anybody wanted to help.
Sure. I will continue to throw attitude at this person just by standing and looking at her, like I'm waiting for her to actually respond to my question, which she never did, because she's scared to, obviously. I'm just conveying this through body language and facial expression. I'm not actually going to talk.
Hoping to further piss her off and provoke her to just come clean with all the stuff she's threatening to hold over you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect. So that boosts it to a 7. So on a 7 and 9, she can cave and do what you want. She can rise to the bait and do it. Or she can instead choose to either stumble, err, or overreact. Excuse me. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Yeah, okay. I think she that whatever snide superior demeanor she was putting on cracks, and this much more feral, much more frightened, much more angry creature shows up beneath, and she says, "You have no idea how any of this works. All of it is about who has power and who doesn't have power. I am done ever again being the one who doesn't have power. I will always have power. I will never be anyone's plaything ever again. I'm not going to give up any of my power until I absolutely need to, and then I'm going to use it to crush whoever stands against me. Do you get that?
And I'm sorry that you got put into a spot where that's the only thing that you hold on to.
You don't understand at all. You're just a kid.
There it is again.
We
Always.
can keep having this conversation all night, but there's a
Someone that needs rescue.
there's someone in need of help and someone in need of chastisement and a lab to destroy.
So
And at which point I'm going to turn around and I'm going to start walking towards in the direction of the lab.
Perfect. So Skysong is just out.
if we're going to do it, we need her help. Walking off is not the best idea if we're going to get her help.
She already offered her help. I'm still walking away. This is totally over my shoulder. She already offered her help.
So are you saying we're not going to take it?
Of course we're going to take it, but let's get moving.
Oh, okay. Just checking. Sometimes your communication skills aren't the best. I don't understand what you're trying to tell me.
Toro, what are you doing?
I'm going to run to catch up with Skysong, which isn't going to take very long because I'm a pretty fast runner. Okay, wait. If we're going to do this, don't rush off because we need to do something first.
Oh.
What's that?
We need to go to Radio Shack because I need some headphones to wear so I can't hear what these people say. Because whatever that bitch just did, I do not want that to happen again.
Oh, that's
I
great.
have just a thing. I have just a thing. I have a thing.
Oh my god.
I'm totally about to do a thing. Because I am going to take out the pair of earbuds that I have that go with my iPhone. Primitive communication device, but really fascinating. And I'm going to modify the earbuds so that it drowns out, these unwanted sounds that Toro doesn't want. I got a thing.
This never ends well, I say to anyone listening.
Which is not us.
I know, I'm used to that by now.
So I am modifying the earbuds.
Right, this is your alien tech move, right?
Yep, and I have a 7.
This is plus freak.
Yeah, I have a 7.
That may be because of the mistake with the danger and the freak from before.
Well, I was actually looking at that a minute ago, and if we look at the pretty sheet.
Yep.
The outsider has a freak of +1, which would make it a 9.
And then, do you see how there's that little circle? If you look at the pregens _1, you actually get a +1 to any one of those labels at character creation, and it just assigned it automatically to speed things up. So
okay.
it should be a +2.
Okay, so that'd make it a 10.
Which is perfect. So on a 10, you get some stuff, which is good. Where to go?
It works exceptionally well.
Excellent. Okay, and so what is the impossible thing? You want it to cloud out noises so that she can't be mind controlled. Great. That's not. I'm not too worried about that because theoretically regular earphones could do that. What is the impossible thing you want these earphones to be able to do?
The impossible thing I want these earphones to do is to I'm torn between doing something totally nonsensical and something meaningful that would be impactive on what we're trying to accomplish. Gosh, I think that the totally impossible thing that these um, these earbuds do is they allow her to understand my native language.
Okay. So what that means is you create a device that can do something impossible once and then fizzle. So basically, it seems like it will let her understand your native language like for tonight, and then they break.
Right.
And they work exceptionally well. So actually, though, that seems like an exceptional version of what you just described is they let her understand all languages while she's wearing them.
Okay.
So like she could understand like the animals.
Sure. For tonight.
Cool, for tonight. All right, cool. So let's cut to then you guys are sneaking into the lab, and we have like several comic book shots of Pack Alpha's animals, like clouding over cameras, like insects swarming over cameras so they can't see. You know, outside the laboratory, birds are flying into the cameras and cracking the lenses, right? You have a path clearly provided, and there's, of course, that cat, that goddamn cat, that is leading you along the path into the laboratory to make sure that you get in completely unseen. So it's not actually, I mean, following her path, she gets you inside, no problem. When you get inside, we're at nighttime now, so there are still people in the building, some night guards probably, or maybe janitorial staff, but not a huge number of people. And you basically get back to the same broken laboratory that you were in earlier today, where fission destroyed all the equipment. And inside the laboratory now is, yeah, like I said, the custodial staff, the guy who's like trying to sweep up all the broken equipment, the glass and the whatever metal has fallen around, and he's trying to collect it in a rubbish bin as like the animals come in, cloud over all of the surveillance equipment, and then you three walk into the room. And the custodian just looks up and sees the three of you, and he says, "Can I help you?"
You should get out of here quickly. If we're here, there's something's gonna go wrong. Go, go, go.
I kind of don't feel like that you need to provoke. I kind of feel like you would just be like, yup, I do not get paid enough. And this whole time, right, Toro, you can hear every command issuing through these animals. You can hear, like, even from a distance, Pack Alpha's voice, like, whispering to these animals. It's pretty darn eerie and upsetting. But it means that you can hear basically what she's saying as she's saying it, and so far everything's checked out. She hasn't said anything particularly surprising for the commands.
Okay.
So you're inside the laboratory, and you hear that command sort of issuing through the animals, sort of like a shiver rolling through them, and you hear it say, "Lead them to the power core." And that cat comes forward, expecting you to follow it, to lead you downstairs away from the place where you left Siphon. What do you do?
So we're not going to the power core yet. We need to get Siphon first.
You say this to the cat.
Oh, I say that. Yes.
The cat just sort of looks at you and tilts its head. Several of the animals come forward and they start pushing at your legs.
If you can understand them, say, have they moved Siphon to the power core? Because that would be even worse than just keeping him up here.
Oh, I'm not talking to them. I'm talking to her, I say, pointing at Pack Alpha.
She's not here.
No,
she
yes.
stayed back. She's just issuing commands to her animals.
Oh, then I'll just point back the way we came. Because I know she's
Yeah.
hearing through them, right? Even if she's not physically present.
Yep.
Okay. Well, just ask ask her then.
So have they taken him to the power core?
You can hear me? Comes the
Yeah.
voice shuddering across the animals.
Yes, so why don't we stop being cute and you let us get Siphon out and maybe he can help us trash this place. He didn't like it either.
One of you can rescue the child. The other two go to the power core.
Go to the power core. I'll get Siphon. Hold on. I didn't hear that yet, so you have to.
So
I'm
I'll
waiting.
repeat what she just said to
Sure,
everybody.
Okay.
totally.
You all go down. I'll get Siphon, and then I'll come down and meet with you. You okay?
All right.
Alrighty. So I'm gonna head off to get Siphon.
Okay. So you head to the back room to go get Siphon. The animals lead Sky Song and Toro down to the power core, assuming that you are still following them.
Yes.
So, I mean, as they lead you down, you can tell security is increasing as you get deeper into the bowels of the building. And, you know, her animals have been clouding cameras and whatnot, but you come upon a door. The cat leads you to the door and just gives you that look. The door has that epic keypad on at the front of it, probably with a retinal scanner. Some crazy stuff there. So, what do you do?
Look at Sky Song. Is that, I point to the pad, is that something you can get past or no?
I think so.
So what do you do, Tessa?
Um, I think I can probably use my use a light blast to overload it.
Totally. Okay, so you're just gonna like blast this retinal scanner to break it apart so the door will open.
Yep.
Excellent. Unleash your powers. 2d6 plus freak.
It's a 10.
Excellent.
Oh wait,
okay.
no, I'm sorry. It's a 13. I forgot.
Even better. I mean, that means you do it, right? And it just
Oh
works.
yeah.
The light blast goes into the retinal scanner, and actually, I would even imagine that in this case, it's not necessarily even blowing it out, right? You perfectly mimic an eyeball with light, because that's all the retinal scanner does, right? It looks for the light patterns. So the door slides open, and on the other side, you can see this thrumming power core. This big cylindrical thing glowing faintly with a blue light. And that's immediately a Sky Song when you realize this is a power core based on your people's technology. This is an alien power core.
And actually, I'm going to say this out loud.
Yeah.
Well, at least I know how to blow it up.
There you go. That's the right attitude. And back upstairs, you, Fission, are going to find Siphon. You go back into the area with the cells, and partly for the sake of time, there are guards there, like standing in the way, who, in these cases, right, these cells are actually more heavily attended to. What do you do?
Well, I also want to get everybody out. So as soon as I can see like a fire alarm, I trip it. And then as they run out, I run in and grab him.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so because also this is masks, right? This is about superheroes.
Mhm.
There's a thing here where like, how do superheroes solve every problem? Well, they always use their powers to do it, generally speaking.
Yeah.
So for you, for instance, like I could see you flipping the fire alarm, but I absolutely also like you do something with your powers to usher everybody out of here, to get them out of here. So what do you do?
Oh. basically like I'm like, oh my god, I like trying to like amplify my voice using like the air. It's like
There you
the
go.
building is under it's basically going to explode. You all have to get out now. And then I'll like kind of use the air to provide like slides from all like the windows and everything so that everybody can get out quickly. Use the air slides to get out. Go, go, go.
Amazing.
That's perfect. All right, sure. Let's say that is. I really want to say it's actually a provoke. That like you're provoking these people with the fear, with the like, get out of the building, it's gonna blow. So go ahead and roll plus superior for me.
Alrighty. Oh, no, okay. I clicked the wrong thing there. Oops. Oh. 8.
Excellent. Okay. So yeah, I think that makes perfect sense. I think the crowds of people, like as you say this, right? They respond immediately. They've only been working here for a day. Literally, the ribbon cutting ceremony was today. Nobody has any strong attachment to this, and whatever people there are still in the building start using your air slides to get out through the windows. The guards do run for the windows as well, giving you a free shot to get at the cell holding Siphon, which I imagine it's not terribly hard for you to open, right?
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Melt.
So I mean, you pull Siphon out, right?
Yep, and I'm like, I'm getting you to safety. Trust me.
He looks really groggy and drugged heavily, and he is missing an arm.
Oh my god, that's not good.
Which you can see clearly that beneath it, like whatever is inside of him, there's some sort of robotic pieces. He was plugged in to the cell itself through these weird tendrils and wires that were going into his stump. But you just pull him out, right? You just want to get him patched out of here.
Yeah.
So you are escorting him out of the building?
Yep.
And then downstairs in the power core, Skysong is setting the power core to blow?
I'm going to do everything except the last step that overloads the power core. And right before I do that, I'm going to turn to Toro and you should run.
Not without you.
Aww. Aww.
If you wait, I can't guarantee we'll get out of here.
Oh, we'll get out of here. Don't worry. I got this.
I throw the switch and we run.
Aww.
So since I have can I unleash my power since I have unstoppable momentum to just scoop Skysong up and just cannonball out of here? Right? Anything between me and the exit.
That's great. I think that's great. Yeah, do it.
Okay, so that
Unleash
would
your
be
powers.
danger, yes.
Actually, let me quickly see. I think you may have a move for this.
I'm trying to impress my love, so that's a +1 also. Under
When you
Bullshark?
unleash your powers to barrel through an insurmountable barrier, roll plus danger instead of plus freak, and you're trying to impress your love.
All right, so that's a +3. Don't blow this.
Go for it.
6, so 9 total.
9 total. And Skysong, can you help? Because you have one team left in the pool. You can make that a 10.
I'm going to use my light powers to blast the rubble out of the way.
Yep. So like as Toro is smashing, you're blasting any debris from falling on. And so it's this adorable thing where Toro is carrying, like holding Skysong, who's firing light beams. Oh my god. I love the final panel here because it's Fission like getting outside with Siphon under one arm, being like, where are they? then this
and then the building starts to implode.
Yes, the building starts to implode, and this epic smashing battering ram of Toro with a blazing light furnace of Skysong in her arms comes rushing out of the building. Oh, that's adorable. Yeah, and to me, I think like the final image of the comic would, of course, be as we pull back out and we realize, like watching on security footage from some distance away, is Rosa Rook looking down at the monitor, and just like this final speech bubble is her like clicking the security camera footage off and saying, "Well, this just won't do at all." And like that's the close of our comic.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, well, thank you, everybody. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
It was
you.
It
awesome.
was my pleasure. If you got to go, that's absolutely just fine. But if not, if we have like 1 or 2 minutes, there's one final piece of the game that I would love to do as a very nice,
Yeah.
quick cap to
Sure.
everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the end of session moves. So the end of session move is here just to basically like wrap everything up. In a full campaign, there are effects mechanically that would change things, shift things, and adjust things. We're not as worried about the mechanical elements, but it's a nice like final moment. So each of you at the end of the session gets to say one of these 3 things that you do. Did you grow closer to the team? Did you grow into your own image of yourself? Or did you grow away from the team? Okay? So each of you chooses closer to the team, into your own image of yourself, or away from the team. If you grow closer to the team, explain who in particular made you feel welcome. If you grow into your own image of yourself, explain how you see yourself and why. And if you grow away from the team, explain why you feel detached. So I'll go to you first, Sky Song. Did you grow closer into your own image of yourself or away?
I grew closer to the team
Mm-hmm.
Because, okay, one, I saw them being, I saw the underlying greatness, potential greatness of humans, of the human race. But on a more personal level, I discovered that the real strength of humans is their ability to directly connect with one another, and Sky Song would totally walk face first into Toro's love.
Aww.
Aw.
So you grew closer to Toro in particular.
In particular, yeah.
Aw, that's adorable. The fans ship you. Excellent. Toro, did you grow closer to the team, into your own image of yourself, or away from the team?
I think closer to the team. I was already very close to Sky Song, but I think, I don't want to say Fishin and I worked through some issues or became friends, but I think that he displayed more leadership and, although was annoying, was sort of annoying in a trying to be helpful way rather than a trying to show off what a smarty pants he is way. So I feel that we all kind of had a moment and grew closer.
I love that. I also feel like seeing all those really shitty adults put things into perspective.
Right.
I love it. I think that's awesome. So Toro grew closer to Fission. And Fission, closer to the team, into your own image of yourself, or away from the team?
Closer to the team because I thought Toro didn't like me at all, and it seems like despite
Aw.
her standoffishness, she actually does like me and likes being part of the team with me. So that made me feel good.
Aw.
Aw.
This team, it's so tight. It's so tight knit. In the next episode, I would totally ruin that. Well, thank you, everybody. That was really fun. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brendan.
Was
It was a fun
awesome.
game.
Thank you,
It's my
Brendan.
Yes,
pleasure.
thank you.
I hope you enjoyed it.
I did.
Very much.
I have